CFAX Victoria.
An iHeart radio station. If it's happening,
It's here.
CFAX 1070.
Good morning, Vancouver Island. It is Monday, the 13th of July. Steve Young pinch hitting for Ryan for the next couple of weeks. Clouds are moving in, high near 23 today. Time for CFAX 1070 News. Here's Lisa Best.
Thanks, Stephen. Good morning. As Victoria celebrated with pride, joy, and a whole lot of people yesterday for the annual Pride Day festival that went off without a hitch, Torontonians remain in shock this morning. Still no arrests or even information on a possible suspect following Saturday's shooting at the Salsa on St. Clair Festival that killed 2 and injured 5. An estimated 13,000 people were at the popular festival when the violence broke out on the street. Prime Minister Mark Carney offering his thoughts while attending the Calgary Stampede this weekend.
It's an event a bit like, the mood that's here at Stampede. You're going out to celebrate, to have, be with friends and family, and then you have this unspeakable tragedy. I want to salute the first responders, volunteers. People really did step up.
That portion of St. Clair in Toronto was closed for the shooting investigation. It reopened late last night while the city remains in mourning. The CN Tower was also dimmed in honor of the victims. One man locally remains in hospital following an assault in Saanich over the weekend. Saanich police called to the Gorge Park near Craigflower Bridge around 5 Saturday morning. The victim has non-life-threatening injuries, but no word on any arrests at this point. Following job action Sunday at Vic General, BC Nurses Union say pickets will be up at Nanaimo Regional today and then Royal Jubilee tomorrow. Last week, the union welcomed the appointment of special mediators for the dispute, but added it wasn't enough to stop applying pressure on employers. Essential services at the hospitals are not affected by this labor action. This as WestJet flight attendants held a day of action and information pickets at the Pearson Airport in Toronto yesterday. The union representing the flight attendants remains in negotiations with the airline over no contract, with paid and unpaid work at the center of it. Here's what we've heard so far from the representatives of those workers.
We haven't been able to agree on a compensation model that reflects our contributions to the success of this organization. We want the value of our work to be reflected in our wages. We are some of the lowest paid flight attendants in Canada, and yet we are the second largest carrier. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up.
WestJet responded to yesterday's action with a statement saying it respects the rights of workers to hold these pickets, but that its focus, of course, remains on reaching that new contract. Flight attendants have until Wednesday to take part in that strike vote, with the earliest possible date set for August 2nd. So if you have plans to fly the long weekend to and from on the early August, you might want to check with WestJet to see what next step would be if strike action actually happens. On another aspect of air travel, Gabor Lucas, the founder of the advocacy group Air Passenger Rights, will join us at 6:20 to share more on the Ontario Supreme Court judge tossing out a rule blocking for travelers to share the outcome of the Canada Transportation Agency complaints. That's coming up at 6:20. BC Wildfire Service says 24 active fires are burning, 3 new across the province. No new fires on Vancouver Island coming off the weekend. The BC Wildfire Service also says a reprieve granted to crews fighting twin wildfires in the Fraser Canyon this weekend is over. Emily Peacock says the agency information team says cooler temperatures are now giving way to hot, dry conditions again as the firefighters battle 2 blazes near the community of Boston Bar. She says the hotter temperatures could combine with wind, and the area's steep slopes will make difficult conditions to fight the fires. But she says crews were able to gain a little bit of ground over the weekend thanks to cooler weather and lighter rain. Stateside, not so fortunate this year. 2006 is going down as another record year for fires. The blazes have scarred more than 3.5 million acres from Alaska to New Mexico. In Utah, the flames consume one of the state's biggest and oldest inhabitants.
The 123-foot-tall ponderosa pine has stood near the town of Beaver, Utah, for centuries. Some experts estimate its age at 350 years. Last week, fire crews discovered that the Cottonwood Fire, which has burned nearly 100,000 acres, also destroyed the old tree. People in Beaver say it's like losing a member of the family.
And actor Sam Neill has died. He's best known for his role in a number of great films, Jurassic Park, one of them. He also starred alongside Sean Connery in The Hunt for Red October and the critically acclaimed film The Piano.
To millions, he was Dr. Alan Grant.
It's
It's a dinosaur.
The reluctant hero of Steven Spielberg's Jurassic Park. Sam Neill, the actor who brought quiet gravity to some of the biggest films of his generation, has died. Born in Northern Ireland and raised in New Zealand, Neill's career spanned more than 50 years. In 2023, he revealed he'd been treated for blood cancer. Earlier this year, Neill revealed that he was cancer-free after a groundbreaking treatment. Sam Neill was 78.
And that's your CFAX News to 6:05. Your CFAX 1070 news poll question this morning. Has your vehicle ever been recalled due to a safety issue? 45% say yes. You can vote now at CFAX1070.com, also on the iHeartRadio app. And Lisa, best your news time, 6:07.
Thank you, Lisa. Weather forecast for Greater Victoria. Sunny today, increasing cloudiness around the noon hour, a high near 23, a little cooler where the winds blow on shore. Humidex going to make it feel like 25 today. Clearing this evening with a low near 13. Clearing in the morning tomorrow with a high near 24. Mix of sun and cloud for Wednesday with a high near 21. Right now in downtown Victoria, it's 11 degrees. Another strong weekend for the Victoria Shamrocks with a pair of wins, including Saturday night in Nanaimo, where they upended the Timbermen 8-3. They're back at it again on Friday night at home to Coquitlam. Harbour Cats, meanwhile, finished the first half with a series win in Kamloops by virtue of a 12-5 win yesterday. The Cats are hosting the West Coast League All-Star game on Wednesday. There's a home run derby at Royal Athletic Park on Tuesday night. The Major League version of the home run derby goes tonight in Philadelphia. Meanwhile, Toronto's Dylan Cease will start the All-Star game tomorrow for the American League. The Blue Jays lost 5-4 to San Diego yesterday. Mariners ended their slide with an 8-2 win in Tampa. One game in the CFL, Saskatchewan hammered Hamilton 38-7. Ryan Blaney won the rain-delayed NASCAR race in Atlanta. That ended around 2 o'clock in the morning Eastern Time. Tempo beat New York 93-91 in the WNBA. Whitecaps take on Cavalry FC in the second leg of their quarterfinal in the Canadian Club Championship tonight. Caps come in leading 4-1, and Victoria's Emma Etzinger helped lead Canada to the 2026 Canada Cup Championship this weekend in Surrey, the home side beating China by a score of 7-3. Let's start at the ferry terminal with your traffic report. The 6 o'clock sailing departed right on time from Swartz Bay to the mainland. Next available sailings at 7 o'clock. There's 36% available deck space right now. At the airport, everything's on time so far today. A couple of flights have already taken off this morning, so if you're headed there, nothing to worry about as well. On your traffic map, I see no major delays or tie-ups at this point. We'll keep an eye on it for you. If you see something out there, you can text us at 71010. And here's Money Manners with Monica Nelson with your consumer and business news.
Kia has issued at least its third park outside recall for more than 460,000 vehicles due to a fire risk. It applies to certain 2020 through 2024 Telluride vehicles. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, any affected owners should take their vehicles to a Kia dealer for repairs. Along with other states across the country, new polling shows Texans are concerned about a data center boom that could affect water, electricity, and their quality of life. But their backers say those fears are unfounded.
The truth is, there are studies that show data centers don't drop home values. Data centers do not provide extreme noise.
That's former Texas GOP Chair James Dickey.
They need to do a better job getting the truth out about the current state of affairs.
Kaiser nurses across the state of California saying AI and workplace monitoring are making it harder to spend enough time with patients. Cal Matters reports some nurses say they face questions from management when calls run longer than 15 minutes, even when helping people in crisis. The FBI confirming millions of Americans keep losing money to cryptocurrency scams. In Texas alone, lawmakers looking to crack down on Bitcoin vending machines.
The victim deposits their cash into the kiosk. It is converted to crypto.
Adam Colby, in charge of the Financial Crimes Intelligence Center.
Once the funds are deposited, there is a very narrow window to find the funds and seize them back for the victim.
Currently, there's no real oversight over the thousands of kiosks that have been installed in convenience stores and gas stations. And she's been a doctor, a pilot, even ran for president, and now Barbie's going somewhere new. A postage stamp. Daria Albinger with details.
The U.S. Postal Service is partnering with Mattel on a collection of stamps featuring the iconic fashion doll through the years, dressed for 10 iconic careers from soccer player to astronaut. The release coincides with the National Barbie Doll Collectors Convention, which is now underway.
The Barbie Forever stamps are now available at post offices nationwide. I'm Monica Nelson with your consumer and business news.
Let's get started.
Start your day informed and entertained. Ryan and Lisa, mornings on CFAX 1070.
Good morning, 612 here at CFAX 1070. We've gone from extremes here. You know where we've gone, Lisa?
No, I'm sitting down and I'm waiting to hear it.
We have gone from great hair to no hair.
And referring to?
Ryan Price.
Oh.
Steve Young sitting in.
Steve, come on, don't undersell yourself. You're fine.
It's not there. It's okay.
It's what's in the head, not on the head that matters.
I agree with you. Grass doesn't grow on a busy street. I got all that. I'm just saying. If I'm a listener, I'm a little rattled.
You mean if you're a watcher?
A watcher, listener, yeah.
Okay. Well, you're separate and distinct.
That's correct. Thank you.
Complimentary but contrasting.
I feel very distinct.
Shall we say? Okay, well, so be distinct. You've got your right jersey on for today.
Yes, I'm going to try to match a sports jersey this week to the guests on the program. That is my goal. I've got Monday to Wednesday covered. Morgana's going to have to work on the guests so that I can appropriately dress, and then I'm going to go World Cup on Friday. So really, Thursday is the only day in flux.
World Cup, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll wear my Canada jersey, my World Cup Canada jersey.
So every day is a fashion statement for a particular team or sport or organization.
Well, Boss Brad's trying to sell me a sports guy, Steve, so I think I should look like it, right?
Well, I'm actually trying to sell you a sports guy, Steve. Let's set the record straight.
Okay. Well, thank you.
But, you're welcome, because you have a lot of knowledge in that department. And so, we want to milk that.
It also worked against me last night.
Uh-oh. What happened?
So, when you do this shift instead of my regular shift, you have to be a little more prudent when you go to bed.
Which is difficult
Which
because
is
you're
very
right off your schedule.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Then there was a 3-hour rain delay in the NASCAR race last night.
Oh, no.
So it was like, I know I should be going to bed, but this is a really good race.
You're like the kid wanting to finish the movie.
That was it, right?
Did the dog fall down the well? What happened?
Yeah, there hasn't been very many entertaining NASCAR races this season.
Okay. This
From
was
my
it?
point of view, this one was.
Okay. What made it entertaining?
That they were dicing and they were back and forth and there was multiple leaders and they were blocking. That
sounds fun.
It was fun.
Yeah.
And they were inches away from each other. And there really wasn't a lot of accidents or anything. It was just good heads-up driving and the guys were getting the cars sideways. All the stuff I like.
Everyone jockeying for position.
Yes. It was
Drifting
really
out
good.
a little bit when they shouldn't be.
Yes.
Okay.
You got it.
Mm-hmm.
But.
What?
Tick. 10 o'clock. Tick. Just before 11.
Do you find in the back of your mind you're thinking, this is really going to hurt tomorrow?
Well, it got even worse.
What?
So, boss guy Brad sends me a text at 9 o'clock. You got to sit in this chair and you should be already in bed.
Oh, because he knew you were up?
Yeah.
Were you texting him about NASCAR?
No, I wasn't. He was.
How did he know?
He wanted to make sure I sat in this seat because I liked the seat over there better.
Oh, he was reminding you where you had to sit.
But because of the cameras, hi everybody at home.
It's all ergo here.
Yeah.
We can't move from our mark. There's a little tape X on the ground. If we
It
move,
is.
we're in trouble.
Yes. So
just like film, but different. And yeah, never mind. Go ahead. And so
he says, "I hope you don't see this till the morning." That's how he prefaces his text.
Wow. It's just like Dad.
Yes.
Reaching out.
Except Dad's like 30 years younger than me.
You know, it's funny as you go through life, everything happens to you. You think it's not going to happen to you, and then you had that happen where you've got a 30-year-old dad now.
He is
a younger father.
He is pretty hip, though. So
he's extremely hip.
So
he told you to go to bed. That's funny,
right? Big brother, look at I'm
not even big brother. That's dad.
Dad.
Get to bed. Turn the TV off.
I didn't turn the TV off, and I watched to the end.
And what happened?
Ryan Blaney, and the best mustache in sports, won the NASCAR race.
Best stash.
You look at it.
That's so NASCAR.
You Google it.
Eating fried chicken.
There is a lot of hair on that lip. Wow.
Follicle envy.
Yes. See, it goes both ways. 6:17. Here's Lisa with your news headlines.
Police across the island asking you to slow down. There were multiple collisions in the past few weeks of note. RCMP say they're investigating crashes since June that involve speeding, running stop sign, impaired or distracted driving, all things that we as drivers could curb. They say head-on crashes last month did cause one death, while another seriously injured a 12-year-old boy. Police say many of these collisions were preventable. They're reminding drivers slow down, adding that officers will continue traffic enforcement in marked and unmarked police vehicles throughout the summer and beyond. Organizers at the Island Beach Festival up Island Parksville say vandals have partially destroyed multiple sands sculptures. The artists are devastated. Cheryl Dill with the Parksville Beach Festival says volunteers on Sunday morning noticed multiple sculptures had either been kicked in or climbed on. She says it happened in the hours before the end of the festival's annual sand sculpture competition that had started Thursday, leaving artists scrambling to fix the damaged work. Dill says the damage can be repaired quickly and that the sculptures will remain on display throughout the remainder of the festival. So if you haven't seen them yet and you're heading up, you will not be disappointed. Meta has disabled a new AI image generator days after it debuted over privacy concerns. At issue is the fact that Muse Image can use photos from Instagram accounts that are set to public. A Muse user only has to tag a public feed, and that AI would use that to create its own image that would stay online permanently. Kind of terrifying. Now that the company says the feature missed the mark, and they're correcting that. And that's your news to 619.
621 here at CFAX 1070. Checking your traffic situation so far this morning. I see a little bit of a delay starting to occur on the Trans-Canada Highway as you approach Island Highway. It gets a little slow headed Victoria bound until you get to Victoria General Hospital. Just before the construction zone starts to slow down. That's the only thing on the map right now.
It's all here. News, weather, traffic, and community events. Ryan and Lisa, mornings on CFAX 1070.
The advocacy group Air Passenger Rights has seen a bit of a win after an Ontario Supreme Court judge got rid of a rule blocking travelers from sharing the Canadian Transportation Agency complaint outcomes. Organization founder Gabor Lucas is joining us now. Good morning, sir. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Good morning. It's great to be with you.
So maybe explain the rule that was in place and how long it's been there and why you challenged it.
Until 2023, September, when you went to the Canadian Transportation Agency with a complaint, which you, by the way, discourage you because we're collecting scores, but if you made the mistake of going to the Canadian Transportation Agency with your airline complaint, then the decision would be public. The filings by the airline and yourself would be public. Anybody who made a request would be able to access it, review it, comment on it, and critique the decision and say, hey, this is why the decision is wrong. In September 2023, the Liberal government introduced a restriction that in the new process before the Canadian Transportation Agency, anything that is happening in that process must be kept confidential. And so, for example, if the airline claims, oh, this flight was canceled because it was bad weather, and then you find out it was perfectly good weather, and you have that proof that they were lying in the process, you could not talk about it, and the media could not publish about it. Also, if they goof up the decision, if they just make wrong decisions that don't make sense in the face of the facts, you had no way of going public with it and legitimately share it with the media. The media could not report on it. And these are very significant limitations on some of our fundamental rights as Canadians. This goes well beyond just passenger rights. This goes to basic democratic rights, basic freedoms enshrined in the Charter, freedom of speech, freedom of media, freedom of expression. What we have seen is that passengers who are posting about their experience in our Facebook group were receiving threatening phone calls from government agents saying them, you're supposed to take this off, you're not supposed to be doing it. I received an email from a government employee saying that they want my help in deleting those posts and silencing passengers who are posting about their experiences in this type of dispute with airlines. Every passenger would receive a stern warning, and every material from the CPA they received, this must be all kept confidential. And all this was clearly sheer wrong. This was only helping the airlines and not the passengers. It was creating a black box, a kind of star chambers, where nobody can know what is really happening in those proceedings. The airlines end up with a stack of case law, which they know how those proceedings are being dealt with. They know how those complaints are being adjudicated, but the passengers cannot talk to their neighbor about how their complaint turned out. So it would create a big imbalance in the proceeding itself and a complete lack of accountability.
So do you think, maybe this came up during the case, I should preface that, but do you think that the airlines are scouring the internets and, the Facebook pages and things, looking for this, bring them to the government's attention, and then the government goes and sends you those emails?
We do believe that the airlines are looking at passengers' posts in our Facebook group. We have seen some posts come up, and these issues have come before in court proceedings. There's nothing untoward per se in them looking at what people post publicly. That's perfectly legitimate. But then the government, using governmental authority and telling people you are not supposed to talk about this, that resembles some of the darkest dictatorships we have seen in the world. We are not talking here about nuclear secrets. We're not talking about anybody's medical records. We're talking here about simple passenger complaints about flight disruptions. And when you go to small claims court, which has always been the route we recommended passengers, then all this information airline files is routinely place on public record. That's how normally it should be. As in any other private dispute you may have, any contractual dispute you may have.
So what do you think this ruling will change about air passenger advocacy going forward?
This is going to, first of all, enable passengers to finally speak up. Many people have been wrong. Many people have been exposed to bad decisions being made in secret, but so far they could not have spoken about it. More importantly, when groups like ours will be able, in 90 days from the ruling, to obtain copies of the decisions, if necessary, copies of the evidence being used in the decisions, and we will be able to actually study them statistically using AI if necessary to figure out what are the patterns, what have been the main patterns of what executive airlines were saying, what type of evidence they were filing. Perhaps there are patterns of large-scale fraud. Some airlines have been caught by CBT's Go Public engaging in systemic fraud, telling passengers that their flight was canceled or disrupted because of maintenance issues, while in reality planes have been swapped and a good plane was swapped to a bad plane, and the passenger, of course, was not told that. So all this type of patterns that happened in the past, and perhaps if it was resulting in damage to passengers because they were deprived of compensation, may now come to light. And some accountability can be had both about the process of the transportation agency and about the airlines that have been routinely defrauding passengers.
So as we wrap it up, what do you hope happens next?
I hope that it will be a good cautionary note for the government, because we have been cautioning the government that this gag order on passengers would be unconstitutional, would be struck down more than 3 years ago. Back in May 2023, we already flagged it to the government, and they were not listening, as they never listened to our concerns. So I would hope that people at the decision-making level will appreciate that the submissions we are making, the comments we are making, is coming from a point of expertise, not from partisanship. And we have a skill in predicting how loopholes would be exploited by the airlines and what does and doesn't pass scrutiny.
Thanks for joining us today and sharing the ruling with us and the thinking behind it. Much appreciated. Have a great week.
Thank you very much for having me.
Gabar Lucas, the founder of Air Passenger Rights.
From CFAX 1070.
Here's what's happening around the island.
Victoria Symphony presents Symphony in the Summer Festival, July 10th through August 9th. Details at victoriasymphony.ca. Catch all the excitement of summer baseball with the Victoria Harbour Cats. More info at harbourcats.com. Have an event you want featured on CFAX 1070? Text us at 71010 to be featured.
Get more event info at CFAX1070.com.
If it's happening, it's here.
CFAX 1070.
CFAX Victoria.
An iHeart radio station. If it's happening,
it's here.
CFAX 1070.
Good morning, 6:30 on Monday, July 13th. Steve Young pitch hitting for Ryan for the next couple of weeks as he goes on a Wally World vacation. Clouds moving in, high near 23. Time for CFAX 1070 News. Here's Lisa Best.
Thanks, Stephen. Good morning. Maybe you headed out to the wilderness last weekend. Beautiful weather for it. If you are planning to be a happy camper moving forward this summer, you want to stay that way, you have to check yourself for insects. Another illness besides Lyme disease is on the rise as tick populations increase across this country.
A paper published today in the Canadian Medical Association Journal said it's important for physicians to consider anaplasmosis as a possible diagnosis for patients with unexplained fever who live in areas where ticks are endemic. That's because it is highly treatable. Climate change is increasing the number of black-legged ticks that transmit both Lyme disease and anaplasmosis, especially in Ontario, Quebec, and Nova Scotia. The Public Health Agency of Canada says people can protect themselves by wearing insect repellent, checking themselves for ticks, and removing them promptly with tweezers. Naira Ahmed, The Canadian Press.
Locally, a potential partnership is set to boost two local businesses. CFAX 1070's Koch Cotton has the story.
A recent fire at a popular catering company may have unintended benefits for seniors in the Greater Victoria area. Beacon Community Services wants to enter a mutually beneficial agreement with Truffles Catering, which would allow Truffles to use Beacon's commercial kitchen to serve the residents of the assisted and independent living residents of the centre. Truffles' business was disrupted by an extensive fire that broke out at their kitchen in Saanich last month. Meanwhile, Beacon has long looked for a contracted party to operate the kitchen and potentially offset revenue loss for the centre. Up until now, this has proven to be a financial challenge amid issues with attracting and retaining food service staff. The partnership would depend on a temporary relaxation of a permit issued by Sydney Town. Koch Cadden, CFAX 1070 News.
Nowadays, Prime Minister Mark Carney says he's happy that the new opening date for the Gordie Howe Bridge has finally been set. The federal government announced Friday that the bridge linking Windsor to Detroit will open on July 27th. This following weeks of delay and public criticism from the U.S. president.
I'm happy the bridge is going to be open. We need it. We are sharing after Canada is paid back. So we get the revenues, then the servicing of the costs of the bridge and paying the debt of the bridge, and then what's left over, there's a split of that for 15 years. The initial years of this bridge, there is, traffic volumes are going to build up, so there's not going to be a lot of net to split.
Carney called the bridge a good deal for Canada. The Bank of Canada expected to leave its benchmark interest rate unchanged for a sixth consecutive decision this week, even as renewed hostilities in the Middle East threaten to reignite inflation. Michelle Zekian has the preview.
Inflation in May topped 3% for the first time since late 2023 as the global oil shock from the conflict pushed gas prices higher. Bank of Canada Governor Tiff Macklem has said the central bank will look through the initial inflation shock from high gas prices, but will act if it thinks price pressures are spreading. RBC senior economist Claire Fan says there are few signs inflation is branching out from gas prices right now, which should give the Bank of Canada enough leeway to keep its policy rate steady at 2.25% for the rest of the year. Michelle Zedekian, The Canadian Press.
And both the U.S. and Iran are asserting today that they have control of the Strait of Hormuz amid another exchange of heavy fire. The latest exchange was sparked by an Iranian attack on a container ship yesterday in the Strait. Iran says it has the right to manage traffic through the Strait and potentially charge fees in accordance with an interim peace deal reached last month with the U.S. The U.S. and the others dispute that, citing international law of freedom and navigation, and the American military has tried to establish an alternate route outside Iranian control. All this, of course, having a deep impact on inflation and the price of the pumps. That's your news to 6:35. Your CFAX 1070 news poll question. We're asking, has your vehicle ever been recalled due to a safety issue? 45% are saying yes. You can vote now at CFAX1070.com or in the iHeartRadio app. I'm Lisa Best, your news time, 6:36.
Thank you, Lisa. Weather forecast for Greater Victoria. Sunny today, increasing cloudiness around the noon hour, a high near 23. It'll be cooler near the water. Humidex going to make it feel like 25. Clearing this evening, the winds are going to pick up. West 30, gusting to 50 near the Juan de Fuca Strait with a low near 13. Clearing in the morning tomorrow with a high near 24. The Humidex is going to make it feel like 27. Mix of sun and cloud and a high near 21 on Wednesday. There is a chance of some wet things happening Thursday and Friday. It's a small chance right now, but the weather forecasters that I was watching yesterday said it could be coming.
So you're blaming them?
Well, I don't forecast weather.
They said it, so it must be true. It'd be nice to have a smattering of rain midweek.
There's a Pacific Northwest weather guy on YouTube that I watch every once in a while.
All right.
As prep when I come in.
And he said it.
He said it.
Okay. Not naming names, though.
Yeah. So Pacific Northwest weather guy on YouTube if you want to watch.
Hey, we can take it. We cut the heat a little bit.
Yeah. And you know what?
Yeah.
You know, we only got one active fire on the island right now.
Mm-hmm. Which is being held.
Which has been held for a few days now, too. So let's just, little rain, spacing it out.
Absolutely.
Will get us through.
100%.
So, Mother Nature, I'm leaving it in your hands right now in downtown Victoria. 11 degrees. Checking your sports scoreboard. Let's start with the Seahawks being sold.
Vinod Khosla said they look forward to building on the legacy Paul Allen created and to earning the trust of the Seahawks organization and fans. It's reported the team sold for over $9.5 billion. The sale still needs to be approved by the NFL. Vinod Khosla founded Khosla Ventures, a venture capital firm in Silicon Valley. The family is part owners of the San Francisco 49ers and will have to sell their share of the team. I'm Brad Ford.
Arbor Cats finished the unofficial first half because the first half really ended a couple weeks ago. Anyway, with a series win in Kamloops by virtue of a 12-5 win yesterday, Cats are hosting the West Coast League All-Star Game on Wednesday with a home run derby on Tuesday night at Royal Athletic Park. Shamrocks beat Nanaimo on Saturday night 8-3 for another perfect weekend. CFL, Saskatchewan hammered Hamilton 38-7. Blue Jays lost 5-4 in San Diego yesterday. Mariners ended their slide with an 8-2 win in Tampa. A lot of you trying to get an early start today, and it's not paying off. Trans-Canada Highway is a red zone almost all the way from Veterans Memorial Parkway till you get past the hospital. Then you go into the construction zone, which isn't moving pretty well at this point, actually. But, yeah, it's going to be a tough trip in. Next available sailing out of Swartz Bay coming up at 7 o'clock. There's lots of deck space available there, about 32% as of right now, and everything's on time at the airport.
Canada's main stock index finished last week on a high note. Toronto's S&P TSX was up 104 points to 35,305. In New York, the Dow added 149 and the Nasdaq rose 74. In Tokyo this morning, the Nikkei dropped by 1,300. The Hang Seng in Hong Kong edged up by 38. Our dollar is trading at 70 and 74 cents U.S. Unifor reached a tentative 3-year deal with Ford over the weekend. No details are to be released until it's ratified by union members. Talks with Stellantis and General Motors are expected to begin once it is. The Bank of Canada is set to hold its key interest rate at 2.25% this week. This amid concerns inflation could rise again due to renewed tensions in the Middle East. One expert saying it could push gas prices higher. And WestJet flight attendants will wrap up a strike vote this week. Their union's still negotiating issues like wages and scheduling. If it passes, a strike or lockout could happen as soon as August 2nd. From the Canadian Press Business Desk, I'm Aaron Sousa.
642 here at CFAX 1070. Steve and Lisa in this week. Orion's on vacation, enjoying himself a little bit. He'll be back in a couple of weeks. And the listeners have a theory about Dad Brad.
Oh, okay.
Hello, Lisa and Steve. Do you have work mobile phones? Perhaps Dad Brad has your phones programmed with a parental control where he can track your phone and knows when you're awake and watching the race. Seriously, it shows that Dad Brad cares and is looking out for you.
True.
Excellent text.
I want to make sure someone's in the seat, too. I'd have to play Stairway to Heaven if you weren't here. You know what? The Dad Brad thing? That's got some legs.
Yes, it does.
He might get his own theme song.
Isn't he the one that requests those, though?
No, that's me.
Oh, maybe you need to do that then. Take care of that.
That's got some legs because Dad Brad, and he could give us his advice. Huh?
Yes, and he could be like the advisor on anything when we have sticky situations.
I like it. See, we're just brainstorming on air because it's Monday.
It's Monday.
Everyone's off. The synapses are not firing.
You know what, though?
What?
I was amazed how many people were out there this morning.
Oh, yeah, it's busy.
So
There's a lot of people on the road early.
Like people biking.
Crazy, right?
Like
people running. What are you running from?
I saw somebody walking their dog. I had 3 or 4.
Dog walking?
Yeah, walking their dog. Yeah.
I am always impressed because on my way in, I have to drive past the Esquimalt Rec Center. And if you work out at the Esquimalt Rec Center, you know who you are, and you're an early bird, I give you full kudos. Because when I drive by, depending on the time of the morning, there's at least a dozen people lined up to get into the gym.
There was a guy there this morning.
Right, to go for their workout.
At 5 a.m.
What commitment, right? I'm just thinking about what pants I'm going to wear, and they're already there about to have their workout.
I actually set my stuff out before the night because I didn't want to have to think about that.
But the thing is, they're already into their workout, or they're running, or they're cycling. I love people like that.
It's pretty impressive.
I wish you could, fitness could come vicariously. You could just glom it off someone else. But that's not how the world works, unfortunately.
I wanted to throw in my highlight of the week from sports.
Okay.
So I'm watching the end of the Tempo game.
Does it have anything to do with Holland?
No.
Okay.
Sorry.
Just checking.
He's out.
No, I'm just checking.
Great hair. Again.
Great athlete.
Yes, he is.
His hair's okay. His athleticism is off the hook.
Okay.
We're there.
So I'm watching the end of this Toronto Tempo New York Liberty game from Montreal because my daughter's there. She went to see the Tempo there.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, the shoe comes out of nowhere and hits Marina Mabry in the back.
What?
Yeah.
A shoe.
A shoe. So, because one of the New York players lost her shoe trying to get a rebound.
Oh.
Okay.
It wasn't on purpose.
So the shoe's left on the floor, and her teammate goes and gets it off the bench and throws the shoe. And
it goes awry.
And it hits the Tempo's best player in the back.
That's got to be a conversation.
After the two of them had gotten into it a couple times during the game.
That's okay.
But there was no angle that completely showed the throw. It just, you have this person ready for the ball kind of thing, and then the shoe hits her in the back. And it's like, what just happened?
There's memes, but there can't be memes because there was no video. Is she a shoe-in? Did she throw in the towel and something else?
Okay, and the other,
yes?
if you haven't seen it, highlight of the weekend, Did you see the bison in Yellowstone?
Yeah, unfortunately, I watched that a couple times.
Dude got some airtime as a result of that.
He's injured, too. He's a 65-year-old grandfather. Yeah, he was thrown 8 feet in the air.
And the bison chased him for a while. Like, it was intentional.
The bison was mad.
He took a picture.
Well, he and his granddaughter were teenage granddaughter were standing there taking photos. But you think you're far enough away from a 1.5-ton animal until you realize you're not.
But it was interesting because he did not even show any interest in chasing the girl in the green shirt. It was the guy. I'm convinced the beard had something to do with that.
Was he wearing red?
No, he wasn't.
I thought he was. Well, maybe he went for what he thought was the larger predator.
If you haven't seen it, the airtime is insane.
Well, it's very dramatic, and the man is in hospital. You know, he's a 65-year-old man, so we don't bounce at that point, and and so it's tragic. But it's just another example of you've got to give wild animals space. Even the deer that seem so domesticated here. I mean, they use a crosswalk here. They're so domesticated. Still, I would not get close to those sharp, pointy ends and the hooves.
That's correct. That was actually what I was trying to get to.
Okay, sorry.
You've done it very well.
Well, you spent a lot of time in Jasper.
Yes, I did.
And among wildlife. And you must know of all these run-ins.
Let's just say if an elk was on one side of the street, Steve went to the other side of the street no matter what. Okay?
Did you also pay attention to being upwind and downwind?
Yep.
Okay. That's something too, eh?
And if you're on a trail, you have bear spray. Like, just, little things matter. And leaving out your garbage is just like...
Yeah, you're asking for trouble. Does bear spray actually stop a grizzly from attacking? Like, does bear spray just make the animal madder, or does it actually work? Because I know for a long time people were using bells, and sometimes the predators treated that as a dinner bell. So people stopped using bells in the Banff area to sort of ring out like, hey, we're coming. And it was looked at as something else. So
both of those things are effective.
Are they? Okay.
Yeah. So the element of surprise is what you want to take out of the equation.
Correct.
So if he hears or she hears a bell, then obviously they're going to know that something's there. They don't know what it is.
Something that's not, yes. It's probably human making that sound.
Yes. And the bear spray, the key is to be trained how to use it properly, because a lot of bad things can happen with bear spray as well.
Like, you get it the wrong way?
So
shoot it yourself?
This happened to a coworker.
Okay.
I'm getting off time.
That's we're into the weeds, but go for it. We want to hear it now.
No, I'm going to save it.
No, I want to hear it.
Okay. So he's riding his bike, and he's got his backpack, and this is one of those Joe Outdoor Guy kind of coworkers, and he's got his bear spray in his backpack, and he hits his brakes, and he throws himself off his bicycle, and he hits the ground. So does the bear spray, and the bear spray sprays himself.
Oh.
So he's hurt from the one thing, but he's hurt even more because the bear spray is a little burny.
Adding insult to injury.
Oof. And let's just say where it impacted him is not an optimal choice.
No. Really?
True story.
Sounds like an urban legend, a rural legend. Like, it's just so unbelievable. Really?
He was very embarrassed. We never brought it up
and
to
in
him.
Pain. Could happen to anyone, I suppose. Secure your bear spray.
There you have it. Here's Lisa with your news headlines.
Don't attempt your morning.
We'll stay in the wilderness for now. Wildfire officials say curious onlookers hindered firefighting efforts as 2 out-of-control wildfires burned in BC's Fraser Canyon over the weekend. The Wildfire Service says it put a temporary stop to firefighting efforts Saturday after a drone flew over the Brunswick Creek wildfire. It also received multiple reports of drivers stopping on the side of the highway to take photos and videos of the flames, which put first responders at risk. The service also said a collision between a drone and a water bomber could have had catastrophic consequences and warns that operating a drone in a wildfire area can result in steep fines and even prison time if you're caught. Tributes being paid to the victims of that brazen shooting at a weekend festival in Toronto. The nonprofit behind the Filipino Lapu-Lapu Day celebrations in Vancouver where 11 were killed last year in that car ramming attack, is one of the several organizations honoring the dead. Toronto's iconic CN Towers, bright lights dimmed at the top of every hour in tribute. Last night, 2 people were killed, several thousands running for cover at the Salsa on St. Clair Festival amid sudden gunfire Saturday night. 5 were injured. And Sam Neill, the elegant and versatile actor who moved from arts films to blockbusters like Jurassic Park and The Hunt for Red Octobers, died at the age of 78. He said that in 2023 that he had a rare type of lymphoma. His family had said he was cancer-free, but he died Monday, today, and the statement did not give a cause. That is your news to 6:52.
Developing political story, a big doozy.
Vashi Capellos.
What started as a dull day is anything but.
The top newsmakers.
Your go-to political debrief. Daily.
What is really going on?
The breaking news.
Just moments ago.
And the entertaining analysis and debate to follow.
I don't think you can sugarcoat it. It's an issue.
It's not true, guys. Yeah.
Vashi Capellos.
There is a greater plan here.
Vashi Capellos. Weekdays 9 a.m. to 11.
Bigger picture politically, which is
on CFAX 1070.
.654 here at CFAX 1070, checking your traffic situation right now. Actually, it's improved on the Trans-Canada Highway in the last 10 minutes or so. It's slow, certainly, around Veterans Memorial Parkway. Then it picks up a little bit at Thetis Lake. Then it's a little slower as you get to Island Highway, and then picks up again. So lighter than usual traffic. Pretty good commute ahead of you so far. And 654 here in CFAX 1070.
Thanks for starting your day with us. Ryan and Lisa, mornings on CFAX 1070.
Getting into the garden.
Well, this ought to be good.
It's very creative. With Ryan and Lisa.
Wow.
Time to dig into some dirt, the organic kind. The Chosen Farm Gardening Guru, Fiona Hammersley Chambers, is here again live to share her expertise on everything Green Thumb and beyond. Good morning.
Good morning. Gosh, I feel like isn't that kind of similar to the theme song for Leave It to Beaver from back in the 70s?
I don't know. We were kind of channeling that at the time. Are you good with it?
Yeah, no, it's fun.
It's kind of old school, but green school and all of that. So what do we find you doing today?
Well, I thought maybe we just talk about beating the heat again.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about beating the heat in terms of our plants, but what about us human gardeners?
That's a good point, because even being out there for a little while, especially when the sun baking on your back, you start to really feel it.
And quite often, you're actually a bit dehydrated before you even notice that you're dehydrated. So it's always good to keep a jug of water with you, a water bottle, and something that we like to do, because we work in the field quite a lot, is we always wear collared shirts, because then you have the collar up the back of your neck, gives you a little extra protection. So we're not completely redneck farmers. And the other thing that we do is we make sure that they're good solid cotton shirts. The one that I'm wearing right now, I just soaked in the hose. So, it's a little bracing, but it sure makes a difference in reducing your temperature when you wear something that is wet.
Yeah. How much water would you say you drink during the course of the day out in the yard?
It depends on what I'm doing. Anywhere from 1 to 2 or 3 liters, probably.
That's quite a bit, but you're obviously
it is, but
shedding
we're
that.
pretty active.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we're hauling stuff in wheelbarrows, and we're a pretty low tech farm, so we do a lot of shoveling in wheelbarrows. We don't have a lot that's mechanized.
Less noise too. What about sunscreen?
We wear sunscreen. I actually prefer wearing a long sleeve shirt than wearing a lot of sunscreen.
Keep yourself covered.
Yeah, and if you go to Chinatown, you can actually get these really good Oriental coolie hats that we also wear.
What are those?
Those are the ones that are kind of a woven bamboo type, and they're conical shaped.
And those work really well for shedding the sun as well?
They work great. And the other wonderful thing about those hats, not only do they have a 360 really wide brim, so you get the shade all the way around, but they have they come in 2 parts, actually. So the first part sits on your head, and it sounds uncomfortable, but it's not. It's actually very comfortable. And it's a woven kind of band of split bamboo, and then that has a string attached to it with a little toggle, so you can tighten it under your chin. And once you get that on your head, then you put the hat on top. Maybe I'll take a photo and send it to you.
Share
you
that, show and tell.
But there's a good reason that people have used those for likely thousands of years, because they critically allow an air draft up around your head rather than ball caps, which tend to be a bit more tight-fitting.
What about, say, gloves and eye protection?
Eye protection I don't bother about because I wear sunglasses or my regular glasses. But yeah, certainly if you're using power tools, you should wear eye protection. And gloves, I like gloves that are quite flexible. And I tend to get my gloves from Watson, which is a Vancouver-based company, and they still do their manufacturing in Canada, which we like to support these days.
What's special about the gloves?
Watson makes really good thick ones. So if we're dealing with something like thistles, you've got a good leather pad on the palm. And they make other ones that are rubberized on the front and then kind of a stretchy fabric on the back. So we do a lot of really fine work like weeding or seed cleaning. So I don't want to use bulky leather gloves for that because I need to feel what I'm doing.
Interesting. And that's what we find you doing today, right? You said you're doing some seed cleaning.
We are. We are cleaning a whole bunch of stuff.
What does it entail?
Which one do you want to talk about?
I don't know. How many seeds you got? I'm afraid to ask.
We grow over 300 varieties. Today we have been cleaning woad.
No
Do you
idea.
know what woad is?
No.
Okay.
Educate us.
Have you seen Braveheart?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know the point where they get naked and dye themselves blue and run into battle?
Really? That's it?
Yeah, watch the movie again. This is one of the key parts. To make themselves blue in ancient Britain, you needed a plant to make a dye, and that's woad. So before indigo was imported from the Far East, woad was the only plant that could make a blue color.
I had no clue. I mean, I can see Mel Gibson's face in my mind's eye right now, half covered in blue, yelling, Scotland. But I had no idea it was woad.
Yeah, so we're cleaning the woad seed this morning. We grow it as a dye plant, so we sell the seeds for people that do crafting and are interested in dyeing different fabrics.
Amazing. Always a massive education for me, and I know for Ryan as well. Thank you. Now I have to go research woad.
Woad is a very cool plant, and pollinators love it. It's another one of these plants like kale that's a biennial. So again, it sets its seed in the second year. So in the first year, you get kind of a nice rosette of green leaves. That's what you use to make the dye. And then the second year in the early spring, that rosette creates a stem which shoots up and has yellow flowers on it, which pollinators just go crazy for.
Thank you, Fiona. As always, it's been a walk in the garden and a big education for me.
Okay, stay cool out there.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
CFAX Victoria.
An iHeart radio station. If it's happening,
It's here.
CFAX 1070.
Good morning, Vancouver Island. It's 7:03, Monday, July 13th. Steve pinching, hitting for Ryan for the next couple of weeks. Clouds moving in, high near 23 today. Going to feel like 25 at the Humidex. Time for CFAX 1070 News. Here's Lisa Best.
Thank you, Steve. Good morning. Following Job Action Sunday at Vic General, BC Nurses Union says pickets will now be going up at Nanaimo Regional General Hospital today and tomorrow at Royal Jubilee in Victoria. Last week, the union welcomed the appointment of special mediators for the dispute, but added it's not enough to stop applying pressure on employers. Essential services, they say, at hospitals are not being affected by the labor action. So if you're having issues, you still attend the hospital. ER is your best bet. A WestJet flight attendants holding a day of action and information picketing at Toronto's Pearson Airport yesterday. The union representing the flight attendants remain in negotiations with the airline over a new contract with pay unpaid work hours at the center of this dispute. Here's what one of the representatives for the workers had to say.
We haven't been able to agree on a compensation model that reflects our contributions to the success of this organization. We want the value of our work to be reflected in our wages. We are some of the lowest paid flight attendants in Canada, and yet we are the second largest carrier. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up.
WestJet responded to yesterday's action with a statement saying it respects the right of the workers to hold these pickets and that the focus remains on reaching a new contract. Flight attendants have until Wednesday to take part in that strike vote, with the earliest possible strike date August 2nd, right in the thick of summer travel for you. A major police investigation continues this morning in Toronto following that shocking, deadly shooting at a salsa festival on Saturday night. 2 people killed and 5 others injured in exchange of gunfire that sent people scurrying away in panic. No arrests have been made at this point. CTV's John Musselman is tracking the latest reaction to the violence, including the new question of adequate safety measures at public events such as this.
About 7 shots, and then I seen everyone running, so they started running.
It turned out not to be an active shooter in the classic state sense of the word. This seemed to be an exchange of gunfire between individuals targeting each other.
Organizers of the Salsa on St. Clair Festival canceled the final day of the event. The violence has raised questions about crowd control and security at large street festivals.
There's anger, there is fear, and obviously people want answers.
No doubt the city will be examining all other street festivals to come.
There were more than 13,000 people attending the event on St. Clair when this took place.
The nonprofit behind the Filipino Lapu-Lapu Day celebrations in Vancouver, where 11 people were killed in a car ramming attack last year, is one of the several organizations that are honoring the deceased in Toronto. And a new round of strikes in Iran as the ceasefire there unravels the renewed hostilities, creating uncertainty over the Strait of Hormuz. Is it open? Is it closed? And who's in control of it? Iran claims it's closed, while the Trump administration says it's open for business.
It has now been nearly a month since President Trump signed that short-term peace agreement with Iran. But after days of back-and-forth strikes, the ceasefire is now unraveling. The Iranians this morning say the agreement has, quote, entered a crisis stage. Now, overnight, the U.S. launching a new round of strikes against Iran, the 4th series of attacks in less than a week. Iran then responding with a barrage of strikes aimed at American military assets in the Middle East.
This war that the U.S. president had said would be over in a matter of weeks. That's your news to 7:07. Your CFAX 1070 news poll question this morning: has your vehicle ever been recalled due to a safety issue? 45% say yes. You can vote at CFAX1070.com, also on the iHeartRadio app. And Lisa Best, your news time, 7:08.
Thank you, Lisa. CFAX Mornings are brought to you by Thrifty Foods. Fresh Okanagan cherries are now in season at Thrifty Foods. Big, juicy, and packed with sweet summer flavor. Pick up some today. Your weather forecast for Greater Victoria for today is sunny with increasing cloudiness around the noon hour and a high near 23. Clearing this evening, a little windy near the Juan de Fuca Strait. There'll be winds from the west at 50 with a high near 13. Clearing in the morning tomorrow, high near 24. Humidex going to make it feel like 27. The outlook for Wednesday, a mix of sun and cloud and a high near 21. Right now in downtown Victoria, it's sitting at 12 degrees. Checking your sports scoreboard this morning. Big weekend for the Shamrocks. 2 more wins for the first place club, including one on the road Saturday night in Nanaimo. They upended the Timbermen by a score of 8-3. Harbour Cats go to the All-Star break with a 12-5 win over Kamloops yesterday. The Cats, of course, are hosting the West Coast League All-Star game on Wednesday night. There's a home run derby at Royal Athletic Park on Tuesday night. Jim Swanson is going to join us later in the show to talk about all that. Dylan Cease will start the All-Star game tomorrow for the American League in the big leagues of baseball. Blue Jays lost 5-4 to San Diego yesterday. Mariners beat Tampa by a score of 8-2. In the CFL, Saskatchewan hammering Hamilton 38-7. Ryan Blaney won the rain-delayed NASCAR race in Atlanta. It ended around 2 o'clock this morning Eastern Time. And Victoria's Emma Emsiger helped lead Team Canada to the 2026 Canada Cup Championship this weekend in softball in Surrey as the home side beat China by a score of 7-3. Checking your traffic situation, Trans-Canada Victoria bound. It's kind of, well, it's weird, okay? Veterans Memorial Parkway is good. Then it slows down a little bit just before you get to Mill Hill Regional Park. Then it speeds up at Thetis Lake Regional Park. Then it slows down again as you get to Island Highway. And it's slow until you get to the construction zone and around the lake there and do the big loop, and you're on your way. It's good after that. That's the only delay I see. At the ferry terminal, next available sailing is at 8 o'clock. Everything's been on time so far today. There's 20% available deck space. And at the airport, everything on time so far today. CFAX Mornings are brought to you by Thrifty Foods. Fresh Okanagan cherries are now in season at Thrifty Foods. Big, juicy, and packed with sweet summer flavor. Pick up some today. On your markets, everything has started for the day, and the TSX is up 47 points at 35,353. Dow Jones up 195 points at 52,832. And the NASDAQ down 269 points at 26,012. The Canadian dollar trading up 7 basis points at 70.7 cents U.S.
In the kitchen, in the car, and at the office. Ryan and Lisa, mornings on CFAX 1070. Take us with you. Listen live on the free iHeartRadio app.
It's 7:13 here at CFAX 1070. We have some texts. So,
okay.
Are you ready for these?
I'm sitting down. I'm bracing myself. Go.
Glad to have you here, Steve. Please, more T-Swift and current events over the next couple of weeks. Okay, so here's your T-Swift update.
Oh.
T-Swift.
This is Tay and Travis, or what do we call them? What's the mashup of their names?
TNT.
Okay, TNT works.
TNT.
Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce.
They went to
Pop culture.
Former teammate's wedding, Juju Schuster's wedding on the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Taylor wore a very full-length gown.
It was pink brocade, pink and gold brocade.
Look at you. That away.
I did see the photo, and yes, it looked very nice. She does dress well.
So that is your T-Swift update as requested. That's all I got.
Because are they honeymooning? Did they go anywhere special?
We don't know.
Did they have the gas to fill the tank to go out to Tofino? Or I worry about these young couples starting off, you know?
It's good. It's good that you're worried, making sure they got a good start. Right?
Little apartments.
Build some momentum because things are not going to go quite as well.
We need to buy them a toaster.
I could give them my Connor McDavid toaster.
You could. They may not accept. No. She may graciously decline the offer.
Love my...
Oh, you love your toaster?
I love my Connor McDavid toaster.
I've said many things about my toaster, saying I love it. That wasn't in there. Yeah, okay.
It puts Connor McDavid's face on a waffle. Can't beat that. True story. On the Bison, they were more than twice the distance away recommended by the rules, which is true. They were more than 100 meters, and the recommendation is 25. I would always say go 200, but that's former
people want the
wildlife
photo.
guy. Yeah.
And that's where we run into trouble.
And the other thing is, it would have been nice if the guy in the truck took one for the team there.
Yeah.
The white truck pulled through.
But that's the bystander effect, right? People don't get involved because until one person rushes to help, no one does.
But if he didn't make the turn, that gave the guy some time, right?
Yeah. I know. He's trying to get his truck out. You don't realize how bad it's going to be until the person gets hit.
Another wildlife story.
Okay.
So the company truck, this is in Jasper again.
We're back to Jasper. You better preface this for anybody who didn't hear it the first time.
Yes. So Jasper National Park worked there for about 6 or 7 years. In any event, company truck is out, and it stops at a stoplight on the Trans-Canada Highway and a side road, Moline Road.
Okay.
People that have been to Jasper will know that because there's a really scenic bridge there, and it's very nice.
Okay.
So the company vehicle's parked, and there's an elk.
Mm-hmm.
And the elk decides he does not like the company vehicle.
Just because.
And puts both horns into the side of the company vehicles.
Got it.
Yep.
Okay, so what kind of rack did the elk have on it at that point?
A good one.
Never small on an elk. Nothing small on an elk. So it put its entire rack into the side of the door?
Correct.
And it punctured right through like it was butter, right?
Yep.
Yeah. We don't realize the strength of these animals until we have to. So the person inside was okay?
Person inside was fine.
Okay.
Vehicle? No, not so much.
Wow.
People need to understand you never get out of the car. All animals can outrun you in 30 seconds. Smart animal sense needs to be learned. More comments. Just make sure you know it was not Dad Brad or anyone related to him or CFAX that sent in the Dad Brad text. It was not a setup for a new segment, although I think it would be fun to see Brad. Yes, Brad, we would need to be willing to physically be on the morning show, Telefax, CFAX portion. The bantering between the three of you would be great. CJ.
Oh, no, we got magical ways to make that happen. If we go down the Dad Brad, creator vein.
Good morning.
Mind that one.
Good morning, Steve and Lisa.
Yes.
Another way to beat the heat is a good felt cowboy type hat. They have a brim that keeps the hat off your neck and face. Plus, when you get them wet, the evaporation will cool your head. You smell a bit like a wet dog, but it works.
Apparently, someone's told you smell like a wet dog. When I was talking to Fiona, I always tell my students, you got to make like a Bedouin. When you think about people in the desert, they're not out there suntanning, are they? They don't have anything exposed. You have to cover up from the sun. So I tell my students the hardest part about riding is in the hot summer days. It's not the fall days. It's not when things are colder. You don't mind putting on the gear.
Right.
It's when it gets really warm, you start peeling things off. And that's when you lose your safety. It's the same with the sun when, like, Fiona's out in the sun this morning about dealing with hot, and it's going to be another hot day. You have to wear your gear. You have to cover up. You got to protect your skin. You can replace the gear. You can't protect your skin. It's the same thing with gardening. So I have a wide brim hat that actually has some holes in it where the air blows through. So it doesn't blow off my hat or my head if there's a wind, and it also creates some air circulation. On top of that, I'll wear a bandana underneath that for any moisture. And so those, well, when you're on tarmac, like this last Sunday, it was 8 hours out in the sun.
Ugh.
Pretty well. But if you're covered up and you're hydrating, you're okay.
It's true.
But it's when we uncover that we run into bigger problems. Anyways, I digress.
And the last text we have, thank you for this. More Lisa, please. Have her be the main host.
Ooh.
I second the motion.
That's only because Ryan's away. He's listening, you know.
He's out there someplace.
he's always listening. He's not Dad Brad, but Brad Dad.
He's combing his hair right now.
He does have good lid. You got to give him that.
7:19. Here's Lisa with your news headlines.
Despite a flurry of developments since the Bank of Canada's last rate decision, more economists are expecting monetary policymakers to leave the key borrowing rate unchanged. The central bank will make its fifth interest rate announcement of the year on Wednesday, following a turbulent few weeks on the global stage and in the Canadian economic data. Spurred on by the conflict, of course, that continues in the Middle East, and the shuttered Strait of Hormuz is open as it closed. The drama continues. The annual rate of inflation hit 3.2% in the month of May, the highest rate we've had since 2023. Wilderness explorers, take note. You got more things to worry about than just Lyme disease when it comes to tick bites. Cases are rising on something called anaplasmosis. At its onset, symptoms include fever, weakness, headache, and gastrointestinal distress. But at its worst, it can damage vital organs, cause hospitalization from a variety of health problems. Details in an article published today in the Canadian Medical Association Journal says this is the second most common disease spread by ticks in this country. A new study shows soccer players may be at risk of higher levels of depression and anxiety midlife. The research, just presented by the Alzheimer's Association International Conference in London, or in the cusp of, or the tail end of the World Cup, I should say, looked at 142 former elite pro soccer players and their neurological symptoms compared to those who did not have a history of multiple head impacts. About 31% of retired players were found to have a range of significant depression symptoms, compared to 9% who had no history of head impacts. About 42% of soccer players had significant anxiety symptoms compared to 25% of non-players. That's your news to 721.
Need a cab? Download the new Bluebird Cabs app at Bluebird Cabs Ltd. Bluebird Cabs, proudly local and Canadian-owned and run since 1946. Checking your highways, everything in okay shape now on the Trans-Canada. It starts to get slow just as you get into Thetis Lake Regional Park, Victoria bound, and continues slow till you get around the bend there. Then it improves greatly. I see no other delays right now. The next available sailing at the terminal, 8 o'clock, 15% available deck space.
Ryan and Lisa. Mornings on CFAX 1070. Remember, you have us in the palm of your hand. For listeners on the go, listen live on the free iHeartRadio app.
There's lots of marine life news these days. The latest development being the humpback Pop-Tart and getting rescued from the fishing gear she was entangled in. We always hate to see that. Meanwhile, this summer's El Nino event has brought at least 2 long-beaked common dolphins to the waters off the coast of Vancouver Island. With so much going on, we're going to try to get into it with Marine Education and Research Society's Education and Communications Director, and Jackie Hilderling joining us on the line. We love our Marine. We love our Marine.
As we should. Good morning.
Thanks.
What a mouthful, eh?
Yes, there's a lot going on. Let's start with Pop-Tart. First of all, love the name. Okay? Yeah. So maybe explain what happened to Pop-Tart and how she got freed, and fairly quickly, too.
Okay, yeah, indeed. It is because of the vigilance of the whale watching community in the case of Pop-Tart, recognizing that she was endangered. She is one of the offspring of very well-known Big Mama, one of the first humpbacks to return to the Salish Sea. And her plight is very different from her sibling, Canuck, who was also entangled and has disappeared. That was from more than 10 years ago. So what happened was, because people knew what to do, knew the number to call. We have a whole course dedicated to that. People do the course, whale safe boating. But then trained responders were able to put on a tracking tag on the gear that Pop-Tart was dragging. And it actually, the drag from that buoy ended up pulling off the gear. So it's confirmed through drone footage by Fisheries and Oceans Canada that she is no longer entangled.
Wow. What a great story.
It is. But something to realize with all these stories is very important, is to look at it and understand it through the backdrop of how vast our coastline is. So humpbacks don't organize themselves like killer whales, where they're in families, and if an animal's missing, an individual's missing, right, you know they're dead. So we have undertaken studying the scars of humpbacks, because they're very characteristic scars that come from entanglement, like wrap scars that you can see. And as wonderful as Pop-Tart's story is, she's an ambassador for success, but our research, preliminary as it is, shows that 50% of humpbacks photographed have scarring from entanglement. So that shows these are the survivors. These are the ones where it's a vast underestimate for how severe the risk of entanglement is, and that we need far more educated eyes on the water who are on the lookout. And of course, that it has to be about prevention. As positive as these stories are, it has to be about prevention. There are 2 whales that we know of who even have been entangled so long and with so much that they fully have lost their tail, and for which there are very few sightings because our coastline is so vast.
Yeah, some reality needs to go with the greatness of the story. So I had never seen a long-beaked dolphin in a picture, and a couple of them showed up. Why? I guess it was in the Parksville area. Why are the sightings so significant, and why did they get this far north?
Yeah, so what motivates most animals is sex and food. If it's not sex, they're following food. So it is an El Nino year, and it's predicted to be a very big El Nino year. El Nino is a naturally occurring climate phenomenon, but it's amplified by climate change. So we can anticipate that there might be some additional unique visitors. And the 2 that are known of for this year were on northwest Vancouver Island and northeast Vancouver Island, and there were repeat sightings. And we too have never seen a long-beaked common dolphin. So following their food, one of them was even in amongst a group of Dall's porpoises. So being informed, knowing species, again, the value of citizen science and eyes on the water could pick up on novel things like this. So this is not some sort of massive change, or that they are a species that we can expect to see a great deal more of this year. They are visitors. But the big thing in relation to warm water, though, that we really, really hope that people take note of, and it is such a downer, is the situation with gray whales. There are now, as of July 9th, 145 known dead in the range from Mexico up to the Arctic. And that is specifically the gray whales that go up there to feed. This is believed to be related to climate change and changes in their prey, and it desperately needs action because the Canadian government hasn't responded yet in 9 years to the call for gray whales to get protection as endangered populations.
I wish we had more time for that. That's sad. And the one question that popped in my head when we were talking about the dolphins and the porpoises, can they communicate? Because we've seen all these things on TV and radio about, how those under the water signals and signs that marine life has. Do you think even between different species there's some communication there?
Well, they certainly recognize one another as individuals. I mean, it cannot be overstated how important it is that whales, dolphins, and porpoises live in a world of underwater sound, and that we certainly impact that as well. But they would be able to recognize otherness. They certainly are communicating with one another. And with regards to, for example, the inshore fish-eating killer whales, they can even recognize degree of relatedness by sound. So another great motivator to think of where you buy things from, how you vote, what you do, because, folks, climate change, noise, all the positive impacts you can have, but also, of course, the negative. Please follow us, Marine Education and Research Society, especially with regard to the call to action for gray whales.
Well, I know you're doing field work tomorrow. I hope the weather cooperates with you, and thanks for spending some time, and we'll continue to cheer on Pop-Tart, okay?
Thank you so much. Take care.
Jackie Helderly.
Where the noise stops and the conversation begins.
Hey, it's Friday. Welcome to the Graham Richardson Show.
The stories that shaped your week aren't just headlines. They are the moments we live through and the decisions that change what comes next.
Let's take a closer look at that together.
It's national conversations. From major policy shifts to the fun, unexpected trends and friends everyone will be talking about. It is intelligent, unpredictable, and completely Canadian. Stay informed. Stay ahead. The Graham Richardson Show. Friday morning at 9 a.m. right here on CFAX 1070. CFAX Victoria,
an iHeart radio station. If it's happening,
it's here.
CFAX 1070.
Good morning, Vancouver Island. It's 7:33, Monday, July 13th. Steve pinch hitting for Ryan this week. Clouds moving in, high near 23 today. Time for CFAX 1070 News. Here's Lisa Best.
Good morning. We begin with the tragedy in Toronto. Torontonians remain in shock this morning. Still no arrests or information on possible suspects following a shooting at a salsa festival on the street that killed 2 people Saturday, injured 5. Thousands of people fled the violence when the gunshot began. About 13,000 people estimated at the street festival at the time. Prime Minister Mark Carney offering his thoughts while attending the Calgary Stampede this weekend.
It's an event a bit like, the mood that's here at Stampede. You're going out to celebrate, to have, be with friends and family, and then this unspeakable tragedy. I want to salute the first responders, volunteers. People really did step up.
A portion of the street affected was closed for the shooting investigation, reopened last night, but tributes are pouring in from across Canada, including from the organizers of the Lapu Lapu Day Festival in Vancouver, where 11 people were killed last year in a car ramming incident. One man remains hospitalized following an assault in Saanich over the weekend. Saanich police were called to the Gorge Park near the Craigflower Bridge around 5 Saturday morning. They say the victim has non-life-threatening injuries. No word on any arrests or any leads in the case, so if you saw anything, you can contact Saanich Police. BC Wildfire Service says there's 24 active fires burning in the province. 3 new fires coming out of the weekend. No new fires on Vancouver Island coming off the weekend. The one fire we do have mid-island is being held. That's been the status for the past couple of days. It hasn't grown much, over about 2 hectares in size. The BC Wildfire Service says a reprieve is granted crews fighting twin fires in the Fraser Canyon this weekend is over. Emily Peacock says the agency's information team says cooler weather is now making way for hot, dry conditions as they battle 2 blazes near the community of Boston Bar. People remain evacuated. She says the hotter temperatures combined with the wind and the area's steep slopes is creating elevated fire conditions. Peacock says crews were actually able to gain some ground over the weekend due to the cooler weather and lighter rain. Stateside, not so fortunate this year. 2026 right now going down as another record year for fires. The blazes have scarred about 3.5 million acres from Alaska to New Mexico. In Utah, the flames have consumed one of the biggest and oldest inhabitants in the state.
The 123-foot-tall ponderosa pine has stood near the town of Beaver, Utah for centuries. Some experts estimate its age at 350 years. Last week, fire crews discovered that the cottonwood fire, which has burned nearly 100,000 acres, also destroyed the old tree. People in Beaver say it's like losing a member of the family.
And we have lost a member of the acting family. Actor Sam Neill has died. He was 78, best known for his roles in a number of films, Jurassic Park movies. You might remember him in that. Neill also starred alongside Sean Connery in The Hunt for Red October and the critically acclaimed film The Piano. In his memoir, Did I Ever Tell You This?, Sam Neill shared that failure is never quite so frightening as regret. And that is your news to 7:36. Your CFAX 1070 news poll question: has your vehicle ever been recalled due to a safety issue? 45% say yes. You can vote at CFAX1070.com, also in the iHeartRadio app. I'm Lisa Best, your news time, 7:37.
Thank you, Lisa. Weather forecast for Greater Victoria. Sunny today, increasing cloudiness around the noon hour with a high near 23. Clearing this evening, low down to 13. Clearing in the morning tomorrow, high near 24. Mix of sun and cloud for Wednesday and a high near 21. Right now downtown, it's 12 degrees. Checking sports, the Victoria Harbour Cats, 12-5 winners over Kamloops yesterday. Cats are hosting the West Coast All-Star Game. That'll be Wednesday at Royal Athletic Park. There's a home run derby at Royal Athletic Park on Tuesday night. We'll have Jim Swanson of the Harbour Cats later on in the show to tell you all about All-Star Week because they've got a whole bunch of other events connected to that. Blue Jays will be front and center at the All-Star Game, the big one in Philadelphia on Tuesday night, as Dylan Cease will start the game. Blue Jays lost 5-4 to San Diego yesterday. Mariners beat Tampa by a score of 8-2. The Whitecaps take on Cavalry FC. It's the second leg of their quarterfinal in the Canadian Club Championship tonight. Caps come into that game leading 4-1 on aggregate. For a comfortable home, no matter what the season, and big savings on your heating bill, talk to Coastal Heat Pumps. Designed for comfort, the South Island's elite Fujitsu dealer, your Airstage dealer. Checking the highways, the Trans-Canada southbound is off and on slow, basically from Thetis Lake Regional Park all the way to the Bend, and then it improves after that. Island Highway a little slow right now through View Royal as you make the turn instead of going onto the Trans-Canada Highway and you go into View Royal. It's slow there till you get to Tillicum, then it picks up once again. It's good by Mackenzie. On the stock market, TSX is down 31 points at 35,273. The Dow Jones off 1 at 52,635. The Nasdaq down 247 points at 26,033. And the Canadian dollar is up 6 basis points at 70.7 cents U.S.
Ryan and Lisa, mornings on CFAX 1070. Oversleepers, catch all the highlights on the latest audio podcast at CFAX1070.com and on the free iHeartRadio app.
Steve and Lisa with you on a very nice weekend. You know, had the temperature just in the right spot for all the activities downtown.
And were there ever a lot?
It was like so much packed into such, because you had the Phillips thing, the backyard thing.
Mm-hmm. Angine de Poitrine was in yesterday, and that made it a sold-out performance.
Then you have the Pride Festival, and you had the parade. Mm-hmm. And you say there was other events going on as well.
Well, there was a lot of cruise ships in town, and that was part of it. So we had, in total, between Friday and Sunday, a total of 29,000 plus people coming in just on the cruise ships. Now, most of those people would have been walking around, taking pedicabs and the such, but there was gridlock. I was coming from Camosa and Interurban into downtown, and it was like it was gridlock on every major route coming in. Douglas, Blanchard, Quadra, Cook, and Fernwood was busy too. So the city was packed. It was hustling. It was a lot of excited people. I saw a lot of pride colors out. The rainbow colors were out in full force. All different ages. It was fantastic to see. It's also fantastic to see how much people dress up for it, because you realize what a dearth of color there is. When that festival comes around, as it has been for well over 20 years, it's like, wow, we've got color going on finally. It was bright, it was exciting, and nothing went sideways, which was unfortunately the case in Toronto. And we're happy that the Pride Festival went off with everybody having a great time without a hitch.
And some of the parties that are associated with the Pride Festival on Saturday night in particular, there was a lot going on downtown. It's great if you own something, right?
Yeah. If you want to be part of that, that's what's nice about this area. If you want to be part of it, you're in. And it's always just 15 minutes away. If you don't want to be part of it, you can easily find wilderness or, something calmer. But I love that. Love that about Greater Victoria. So the weather was phenomenal. It wasn't too hot for people either. If you did want to dress up and go to your favorite events, whether it was the ball game or whether it was Pride or just even around downtown, it was actually a bit of a breeze. It was nice.
Of course, April Wine was playing up at the Parksville Beach Festival.
Very cool.
I'm just sad that somebody took it upon themselves to wreck some of the beach carvings, because I just know how much work went into that.
Yeah.
And how much attention to detail. And
yeah, it's disheartening.
Yeah.
It's very disheartening.
It just leaves a
bad taste in your mouth.
It's more than that, though. Yeah. It's more of why?
Yeah. Well, all vandalism, even just simple tagging, it's the why. It's why. Why do we have to destroy nice things?
Yeah.
So we don't know the why behind this. It's funny with coverage like this, though. When we have these kind of things happen, it's almost like the negative press is a good thing. And more people, and when I say that, it's a caveat. It's not a good thing that the sculptures were partially destroyed and the artists had to scramble to get them back on track. But it actually puts Parksville on the radar again. And people go, wait a minute, I haven't been to that festival for a while. I should go up and see what it's about again. And the headliner's there. And I know what you're saying. It's like, well, it's not the kind of press they want. But the unfortunate thing, the silver lining is the vandals did this. It's on our radar. We're talking about it. And maybe someone's going to make the trip up there to see them as a result. Because the sculptures are world class. And it's sand. So it's going to go away eventually anyway.
And as April Wine would say, the whole world's going crazy. Crazy, 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 crazy.
That was one of his
one of the tunes.
Miles, yeah.
See it. We have one question. Do you have an FM channel for CFAX? Yes, we do. I'm glad you asked. Let me inform you. It's at 107.3 HD2. So right beside Virgin Radio, if you have an HD equipped receiver in your home or vehicle, just go switch it just a little bit from Virgin and you get us. So there you go. Hope that helps. 7:46. Here's Lisa with your news headlines.
Thanks, Steve. Good morning. Vancouver Island Police asking you to slow down. This following multiple collisions over the past few weeks. RCMP say the rise in incidents since June involves speeding, running stop signs, impaired, distracted driving, and just general impatience. They say a head-on collision last month did kill one person, another seriously injuring a 12-year-old boy. Police say many of the collisions are completely preventable. They're reminding drivers to slow down and pay attention, adding that there will be officers on continued traffic enforcement in marked and unmarked vehicles as a result. Wildlife officials say curious onlookers hindered firefighting efforts as 2 out-of-control fires burned in BC's Fraser Canyon over the weekend. The BC Wildfire Service says it put a temporary stop on firefighting efforts Saturday after a drone flew near the Brunswick Creek fire. It also says that they've received multiple reports of drivers stopping by the side of the road to take photos and videos of the flames, which put first responders at risk too. Don't want to have to rescue someone when they're trying to put the flames out. The service says the collision between a drone and a water bomber could have been catastrophic and warns that operating a drone in a wildfire area can result in fines and even prison time for you. And Meta has disabled a new AI image generator days after it debuted over privacy concerns. At issue is the fact that Muse Image can use photos from Instagram accounts that are set to public. A Muse user only had to tag a public feed, and the AI would use that to create its own images, which would stay online permanently. Now the company says that feature missed the mark. That's your news to 747.
From CFAX 1070.
Here's what's happening around the island. Victoria Symphony presents Symphony in the Summer Festival, July 10th through August 9th. Details at victoriasymphony.ca. Catch all the excitement of summer baseball with the Victoria Harbour Cats. More info at harbourcats.com. Have an event you want featured on CFAX 1070? Text us at 71010 to be featured.
Get more event info at CFAX1070.com.
If it's happening, it's here.
CFAX 1070.
CFAX Mornings are brought to you by Thrifty Foods. Fresh Okanagan cherries are now in season at Thrifty Foods. Big, juicy, and packed with sweet summer flavor. Pick up some today. The highway's been an adventure today on the Trans-Canada southbound as you head towards Victoria. A little slow just after you get out of Thetis Lake Regional Park. It's kind of a red zone till you get through the construction area and then picks up as you near Mackenzie once again. Things have improved on the Island Highway, not so slow through View Royal anymore, and things picking up downtown as you get into the usual places around Mayfair Shopping Center, Topaz Park, those kind of places.
Ryan and Lisa are ready when you are.
Good morning.
Day or night, find the highlights under latest audio at CFAX1070.com and on the free iHeartRadio app.
For our next feature, we're going to bring in a couple of experts. The first one is Lisa. Lisa, help me, because this is your area of expertise.
Well, I would say our guest is the where the buck stops.
Well, that's true, but I think you can assist in this conversation.
I can definitely assist, yes.
West Shore RCMP been warning the public, especially parents, to get up to speed on e-mobility devices. This after a number of significant complaints, including a 13-year-old getting hit with a $368 fine after an e-bike dangerous driving call. Spokesperson Corporal Nancy Sagard joining us now. Good morning, Corporal.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Well, great to have you on board. I've got Lisa with me, and Lisa knows her e-scooters, motorcycles, all those things. So I think she can really help with this discussion. So when did the increase of so many complaints start, and is there a reason for it?
Right. So since May, so just the last couple of months here, we've had more than 34 complaints involving e-mobility. That's everything from e-scooters, e-bikes, e-dirt bikes operating on public roadways. So we've seen an influx of these types of complaints, the majority of which are landing between dangerous driving complaints. And so it's quite concerning for us.
Nancy, I know there's a disconnect between, because I've had parents ask me too, my 13, 12-year-old is asking for one of these because I have one. I have a Segway 9-bot stand-up scooter, and I realize the power of it and the responsibility as an adult. But of course, a child wouldn't. And they're asking, should I get my child one of these? And I think the technology is out there, and our awareness of the power of the technology has not kept up with it. So there's a real disconnect between what we think is a toy and what is an actual vehicle that could do a lot of damage if it goes sideways.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the disconnect comes from the fact that originally scooters, when you saw them years ago, they were just kick scooters, right? They weren't mobilized yet. They didn't have that electric capability. And then once that started, maybe our mindset, society's mindset is still stuck in the fact that, oh, that's just a kick scooter. It's fine. Well, the reality is it's not. You need to be 16 years or older in order to drive an e-scooter. And the same rules as that apply to a bike apply to the scooter. And then on top of that, really, e-scooters are only allowed in certain communities. They're not allowed just everywhere. So here in the West Shore, you can drive them in Langford, Colwood, View Royal, but not in other surrounding areas. So it depends on if your community has opted in to the pilot projects surrounding e-scooters, then yes, you can ride them in those communities. But if it hasn't, then you are not allowed to.
Beyond that, though, the safety aspect, we've had, stories from Surrey, we've had stories from the mainland of major hospitals, the staff there, pleading with officials. Yeah. And I know the rules aren't yours to be made, but pleading with officials to say do more because we're seeing so many kids show up at emergency after using these. And it must be difficult for you, too, because your officers are first responders on these scenes.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like a major concern, too, is if it's being driven dangerously, that doesn't just put other motorists at risk. That puts that rider at risk, right? For example, an e-scooter, it's just 2 points of contact on the road. It's very low to the ground. A small divot in the road, a small pothole, a big rock, it's going to throw that thing right off and you'll go flying. So it could be very dangerous. It goes maximum. It's supposed to go maximum only 25 kilometers an hour. But again, that's quite fast if you think about it. If all you're wearing is a helmet, you hit a pothole, etc., and you go flying, you can cause some serious damage.
I'm seeing some not even wearing helmets through the city, and I'm seeing cyclists do the same. Is there any kind of campaign underway to start to crack down and start educating people, whether it's just the reminders or fines? Because I know one child or parent has already faced a major fine regarding this. Is there more of this to come?
Yeah, absolutely. So our traffic unit and our frontline officers are working together to monitor and control this issue as much as we can. I mean, of course, we have to respond to calls for service in between. But what we're doing is we're going to areas where we know there's heavier traffic, where we know e-scooters are being driven, e-bikes, etc. And the other issue that we're having here is e-dirt bikes, which, by the way, are not road legal. They are not allowed to be used on public roadways. So that's another big issue that maybe we could talk about in a minute. But what we're doing is we're actively, proactively patrolling. And I have to say, you know what? Education period's almost over here. We're starting to enforce. We gave a 13-year-old a $368 fine just last week for dangerous driving. And those fines on a young person can also affect their chances and ability to gain a license in a few years' time when it comes time for them to get a license. So, parents, if you're listening, please, understand the rules and the regulations before you purchase these items for your kids. First of all, make sure that they're even road legal, that your child's even old enough, and also talk to them about what the rules are on how to drive. Like if you're riding an e-bike, which again you need to be at least 14 for a light e-bike, 16 for a standard e-bike. So if your child is riding an e-bike or an e-scooter, go out with them the first few times. Don't just buy it for them and let them, have at her. Go with them, make sure they're riding properly, teach them the rules of the roadway, monitor them, and then only when you think that they're going to be safe to do it on their own, then maybe you give them some of that freedom. But again, they need to be minimum 14 years old for a light e-bike and 16 years old for a scooter. I
would say even adults too. I mean, I've hit that throttle by mistake and it's bucked out from under me.
Oh, yeah.
It's very powerful. If you hit it by mistake, I know what I've done because suddenly the machine is bucking out from under me. And an e-bike does the same thing. They're very powerful, and we don't realize that they're not toys. We had a news poll that we put out on Friday. We're asking people, do you think e-mobility transportation should be licensed similar to other vehicles? 90% said yes.
Wow, yeah.
So there's a big
there you go. The public's
ask for
talking,
this.
Right?
Yeah, there's a big ask for this.
One question I had as a novice, explain the difference between a e-dirt bike and a regular e-bike.
Yeah, great question. Okay, so while e-bikes and e-scooters are permitted on public roadways under specific regulations. E-dirt bikes are not legal for public roadways. So here's the big difference. With an e-bike, they are speed limited, they have restricted motor output, and they're equipped with functional pedals, and they're classified as bicycles. And as such, they must follow the rules of the road, the same rules that apply to a bicycle. And you've got to be minimum 14 years old to ride that light e-bike or 16 to ride the standard. Now, e-dirt bike, however, it does not have pedals. It relies solely on electric motor, or perhaps you've got the gas one. But because they are not, they don't meet the legal definition of being regulated for the road, they're not allowed to be on the road. They're considered off-road vehicles. And the comparison I like to use all the time is you don't see quads riding around on the highway, right? Because they're off-road vehicles. Same thing with e-dirt bikes. They are off-road vehicles. I think where people are getting confused is that they sometimes look similar to an e-bike. And we're thinking, oh, just because I can purchase it, I can ride it around on the road. No, you cannot. So again, if it's an e-dirt bike, it doesn't have pedals, and it's relying on that electric motor. It doesn't meet the legal definition of an e-bike, so it cannot be on the roadway. And it's also not insurable, right? So if we catch you riding it, like, we're seizing it, we're taking it, and we're likely going to be asking for it to be forfeited. So you'll have a very difficult time getting it back from us.
Thanks so much for joining us this morning and bringing us up to date. And we'll follow this story a little bit, because I think it's important to get the message and the education that Lisa's talking about through to the public. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good day.
Corporal Nancy Sagar.
CFAX Victoria,
an iHeart radio station. If it's happening,
it's here.
CFAX 1070.
Good morning across Vancouver Island. It's 8:02 on Monday, July 13th. Steve pitch hitting for Ryan. Clouds moving in. High near 23 today. Time for CFAX 1070 News. Here's Lisa Best.
Thanks, Steve. Good morning. A potential partnership set to boost two local businesses. CFAX 1070's Koch Cotton has the story.
A recent fire at a popular catering company may have unintended benefits for seniors in the Greater Victoria area. Beacon Community Services wants to enter a mutually beneficial agreement with Truffles Catering, which would allow Truffles to use Beacon's commercial kitchen to serve the residents of the assisted and independent living residents of the centre. Truffles' business was disrupted by an extensive fire that broke out at their kitchen in Saanich last month. Meanwhile, Beacon has long looked for a contracted party to operate the kitchen and potentially offset revenue loss for the centre. Up until now, this has proven to be a financial challenge amid issues with attracting and retaining food service staff. The partnership would depend on a temporary relaxation of a permit issued by Sydney Town. Koch Cadden, CFAX 1070 News.
Over to Toronto, where the iconic CN Tower paying tribute late yesterday to the victims of a shooting at a salsa festival Saturday that killed 2 and sent thousands running for cover. 5 others were injured. Officials on social media say the tower's bright lights would dim at the top of every hour following the tragedy. Restaurant owner Tomer Makarsis says that the street festival celebrating the Latin culture may have to be relocated.
Told whoever needs to be told that we need more of everything here in order to contain this, because this is one of the biggest street festivals in Canada. I hope it's not going to be here next year, like most of us, and just move it somewhere else that they can contain it and not just have it free for all.
Yeah, tributes rolling in from across the country, including from Vancouver. The Filipino Lapu-Lapu Day Festival organizers have sent their condolences to Toronto. 11 killed in a car ramming incident in Vancouver last year. As of early this morning, Toronto police have no suspects identified or arrested. One of the Prime Minister's key staffers says he's stepping away from his role and considering a run for Parliament.
Braden Cayley, Carney's Deputy Chief of Staff, thanked the Prime Minister in a letter posted to social media for what he called the honour of a lifetime. Cayley didn't specify a timeline or a particular riding where he would seek a nomination in his letter, only that he plans to run in his home province of British Columbia. The riding of North Vancouver-Capilano will be contested in a forthcoming by-election. That seat had been held by former Cabinet Minister Jonathan Wilkinson, who resigned this spring to become Canada's ambassador to the European Union. Tom Mitchell, the Canadian Press.
Something that may trickle across the border soon enough. We've got restaurants in the U.S. changing what they offer on their menus due to that parasite outbreak.
Some restaurants are now changing their menus as a parasitic intestinal infection linked to produce spreads across the country. The CDC is tracking cases of cyclosporiasis across at least 31 states, from California to New York. Officials have been unable to link the contamination to one supplier or grower. The CDC says outbreaks have typically been linked to fresh produce, such as lettuce, cilantro, and raspberries.
The Bank of Canada expected to leave its benchmark interest rate unchanged for a 6th consecutive decision this week. We will find out those details on Wednesday, even as renewed hostilities in the Middle East continue to threaten to reignite inflation. That's your news to 8:06. Your CFAX 1070 news poll question. Has your vehicle ever been recalled due to a safety issue? 45% are saying yes. You can vote now at CFAX1070.com, Twitter X, and also the iHeartRadio app. And Lisa Best, your news time is 8:07.
Thank you, Lisa. Looking at your weather forecast for Greater Victoria, let's refresh to see if the temperature went up. It did. Yay. Sunny, increasing cloudiness around the noon hour, high near 23 today. It'll be about 6 degrees cooler where the winds blow on shore. Humidex going to make it feel like 25. The UV index is up there. Make sure you have your sunscreen at 7 or high. And a high near 23. Clearing this evening, winds light, except west 30, gusting to 50 near the Juan de Fuca Strait tonight. Low down to 13. Clearing in the morning tomorrow, a high near 24. Right now in downtown Victoria, it's 13 degrees. Sports, we've made it to the All-Star break. The Blue Jays limping into the All-Star break after losing another series. 5-4 the final in San Diego yesterday. Padres take 2 out of 3. somehow, even though they've got a sub 500 record, they're still within two and a half games of a playoff spot. It's just the way the league has been this year. Mariners, meanwhile, they've been sliding too, and they're in that battle for a wild card spot. They won 8-2 in Tampa yesterday. All-Star break, home run derby goes tonight in Philadelphia. The All-Star game goes tomorrow, and Toronto's Dylan Cease will start the game for the American League. It's All-Star week here in Victoria too. Harbor Cats, first of all, they won their game 12-5 over Kamloops yesterday, and they're hosting the festivities for the West Coast League All-Star game. The actual game itself is Wednesday at Royal Athletic Park. Tickets are still available, and there's a home run derby at Royal Athletic Park on Tuesday night. Jim Swanson will give us all the details at 8:20. Another strong weekend for the Shamrocks. A pair of wins, including one Saturday night in Nanaimo. They upended the Timbermen by a score of 8-3. Checking your traffic, things continue to ease up on the Trans-Canada as you make your way Victoria bound from Langford. It's down to a yellow zone. There's a couple of little red spots, but moving freely. The Island Highway is improved through View Royal. A little slow around Mayfair Shopping Centre as per usual. Everywhere else in pretty good shape. Craig Flower looks good. You know, it's a nice day to drive. I even checked Souk on purpose because I know you guys have some traffic issues from time to time, but Highway 14 all the way into Langford, good shape today. On the markets, TSX is down 26 points at 35,278. The Dow Jones down 108 at 52,528. And the NASDAQ down 243 at 26,038. And the Canadian dollar is up 7 basis points at 70.7 cents U.S.
Ryan and Lisa, mornings on CFAX 1070.
Steve and Lisa today. Ryan's off on vacay. He's going to Wally World with the Griswolds.
Okay. Where's Wally World? What is Wally? What is that?
Did you the first vacation movie?
I just don't remember.
Okay, he was in California.
Okay, he's not in California.
The family truckster. Remember that?
He's going to the backyard.
Yeah, he's going to hang out.
Yep. Got the lawn chair. Got a brew. Cutting the grass.
We had such a response with questions and things to the interview that you did with Nancy. We're going to get somebody else to answer some of those questions too. Maybe Nancy, maybe somebody else. But because I can't answer some of the questions the listeners have posed.
What are they? Oh, the questions I've been answering, some of them?
Have you? Good, thank you. But it'd be good to have somebody else on this week because...
Like a lawyer?
Yeah, that kind of person. Exactly.
Because one of the questions, too, and I'm just like, it's like a little bit gray for me. What if someone on a scooter or an e-bike hits a pedestrian?
Right.
Which is that, and that has happened. I would say that's a civil suit, but not sure how that works exactly.
Yeah.
But it is quite relevant.
Yeah, and the example given about if because somebody got hit by one of the scooters and they have to pay for the damage, how does that affect your ICBC?
That should go in. But the thing is, if the person is an active driver, which you don't have to have a license, if the person isn't a license through ICBC, if they were, then they should be found at fault and they should be having to pay your deductible. But if you've got like an 18-year-old who doesn't drive on a scooter who runs into the side of your truck, it becomes a civil suit again. So yeah, it's very interesting, and the possibility of that happening again is quite likely.
So, as an instructor who teaches people how to
operate heavy machinery,
yes,
motorcycles in this case,
and I say this with it probably is not going to come across the right way, and here's the thing I will do. I see race drivers at the professional level,
yes,
the younger ones,
yes,
not realizing the decisions they make are going to affect somebody and hurt somebody, because my theory is in the video game nobody gets hurt, and they spend so much time training with the video game that they think they know what they're doing.
Okay, that's true.
Is
bravado,
that something?
Right?
Is that something that you find?
Oh, it's a real thing. I had it last week. I had it yesterday on course. Having to try to get novice riders to slow down. It's like, work on your skill, not your speed. Speed's easy. That's how people get themselves into trouble. Going fast is easy on two wheels. You got to be able to stop in time. And you're constantly trying to negotiate in your mind. Can I stop in this amount of distance? You're constantly thinking about that, or you should be. But yes, but what demographic are these racers you're talking about, and what gender?
Mostly male, not all, but in the 14 to 20 range.
Right. And if we were at wartime, say World War I, World War II, what demographic do we send to war?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because there's a sense of invincibility, a sense of a lack of mortality. We're not, at that age, we don't think about dying, to be quite frankly. And so there is a certain amount of disconnect, and you, if you're aware of it, you can compensate around it. But a lot of young people don't. And after a while, as you age, you realize you don't balance as well. And so you take better care and you take more precautions, usually. This isn't a blanket statement here, it's usually. But yes, that age group is most likely to be involved in a collision because of the thought process of it's not going to happen to me, or I'm going to live forever. You don't actively think that, but it is subconscious. And so I always caution my students, especially male students in that age bracket of, say, 16 to 25 or even slightly older, that, look, you're not going to bounce if it's a hard enough hit. So you have to avoid a collision at all cost. And the onus is on you to try to avoid the collision. And so we train people how to avoid a collision. Right. Because if we can all avoid having a collision, then everybody gets where they want to go in one piece.
It actually takes me back to driver's education.
Yeah.
And I had my teacher, actually, from my high school taught me driver's ed. Mm-hmm. And he taught me to scan all the time.
No, that's it.
Yeah.
And the number one fail for drivers, new drivers, is failure to make a right shoulder check before turning right. It's pretty much the same on a motorcycle. We don't want to turn our head. We just want to go. So I suggest in your own car, start doing shoulder checks and see if they're natural for you and scan the intersection before you enter it and see if that's natural feeling for you. Because if not, maybe more is needed. I'm not preaching. It's just a suggestion, because my job is to, especially in the tarmac, is to keep everybody safe.
And right now your job is to give everybody the news headlines so they know what's going on in the world.
The other stuff. Well, we'll start with the Strait of Hormuz. The U.S. president is reinstating a blockade on Iran in the strait and says he will charge ships for safe passage. In the announcement in post on social media Monday, another exchange of fire between the U.S. and Iran over their critical waterway. A fifth of the world's oil and gas passed through that strait, or was anyways, before Iran asserted control over it at the start of the war that the U.S. and Israel started weeks ago, if not months ago at this point. We're trying to keep track of the time that's going by. Tributes being paid to the victims of that shooting at the Weekend Festival in Toronto. The nonprofit behind the Filipino Lapu Lapu Day Festival celebrations in Vancouver, where 11 were killed, have sent their condolences for the loss. The Toronto iconic CN Towers bright lights were dimmed at the top of every hour last night in tribute. 2 people killed, 5 injured, and thousands running for cover. 13,000 expected that were on site Saturday when the gunfire started Saturday night at the Salsa on St. Clair Festival. And Sam Neill has died. He was in the films Jurassic Park, The Hunt for October, and The Piano. He was 78. His family says he was cancer-free. He died today, with a statement not given the cause. He did say he had a rare type of lymphoma. That was back in 2023. And that is your news to 8:18.
$8:20 here at CFAX 1070. Checking the highways. Things have deteriorated a little bit on the Victoria-bound Trans-Canada. Slow again now by Victoria General Hospital. Picks up at the Bend, and then you're good from there. Traffic downtown's a little congested as well. Everything else moving slow, at a good pace. If you were hoping to be on the 9 o'clock sailing out of Swartz Bay for the mainland too late, it is now full. The next available sailing is at 10 o'clock. It has 25% available deck space.
The best way to start an island morning. Ryan and Lisa on CFAX 1070.
It's All-Star Week here in Victoria for baseball. Now, this got announced about a year ago, and I think sometimes things sneak up on you, and all of a sudden it's here. And that's the case. The managing partner of the Harbour Cats, Jim Swanson, is here to talk about West Coast All-Star Week. I'm saying week because it's more than one thing, right, Jim?
Yeah, and it's certainly not snuck up on us. I get that, though. I totally do. By the way, nice jersey you're wearing. If people aren't watching on the show right now, it's great. You got our Expos-style white home Cats uniforms, which are very, very popular, and we've got quite a few people wearing those out there. Yes, no, it's the Show Pass 2026 West Coast League All-Star Festival, we're calling it, brought to you by Canadian Club. And you know what? It's 2 days of kind of going to be crazy mayhem. Actually, it starts a bit today, and the feature person that we brought in for this to help us really make this a lot of fun is Kevin Pillar from the Blue Jays, known as Superman. Used to steal home runs, hit home runs, hard-nosed player, and just a really, really good guy. Trust me, he's been great to work with. And he arrives today, and his family will be going out for dinner. It's actually his wife's birthday today, so we've got a special place set out for them to go for birthday dinner here tonight and really get to see Victoria. And but we got the best of the West Coast League arrives in Victoria starting really tomorrow, and here for the Home Run Derby and events at the legislature on Tuesday, and then a whole bunch of stuff going on Wednesday leads up to the game, which is kind of the grand finale of it all on Wednesday evening. And yeah, it's been a year of or more of planning. We actually knew about a year and a half ago that we had it, but a lot of stuff going on for sure.
So maybe take us, first of all, thank you for helping us get Kevin on the show. So if you're a Blue Jay fan,
tomorrow
we'll have Kevin on. It's 7:50 tomorrow morning. So if you have questions that you'd like me to ask Kevin, by all means, text him at 71010, and we'll go through them and ask some of them during the program. So maybe start with piece by piece, because
yes.
You've got a whole bunch going on. So what's going on at the legislature?
So tomorrow, that's Tuesday, from 10 a.m. till 1 p.m., we have a kids camp that's going to be going on. We've put together a group of, I think it's 22 kids now, that will be doing a kids skills camp right on the lawn of the legislature, right on the right by the fountain, right between the
nice
fountain
grass.
and the building. It's pretty amazing space, and it will be iconic for photos and videos of that activity going on there. It's never happened before, and the province of BC is actually declaring baseball days in BC for tomorrow and Wednesday. We're going to be announcing that today. Pretty exciting stuff. We've actually got a bit of that out already, but Raj Chouhan, the Speaker of the House, is behind all this with Warren Dirksen, the Deputy Assistant Speaker. So really been fun. And Ann Kang, big time part of that as well, the Minister of Sport and Tourism. So we're certainly appreciative of that. On the other side of the lawn, we're going to be having a community wiffle ball game. So, the plastic bat and ball, and just come and play a scrub game and just jump in and hit a ball and run the bases and play a position and have some fun with it. We just wanted everybody to have an event that everybody could just kind of get involved. It's free, absolutely free. The kids camp is, again, by invitation only, so we got that one filled up. But it's going to be fun just to see the activity down there. We'll have a couple tents down there. A&W across the street will be doing a root beer float station for charity, all the money going to charitable purpose, and that's going to be great to see. And then in the evening, the gates are going to open at 5 p.m. for Wilson's Group Stadium at Royal Athletic Park. And you can come and see the guys. Actually, that's a really good idea. People have asked me about being able to see Kevin and what he's going to be doing, because he's literally participating in the Home Run Derby. The batting practice is going to start around 5 p.m., so you get a chance to see him swinging and see that as well. At the same time, we had a lot of concurrent stuff, Steve, on this, and hopefully sticking with me. And people can check our social medias for all the schedules that are going to come out on this here. We'll put more out today. But Kevin Pillar will be doing a public signing at Kirby Source for Sports. That's from 9:30 until 10:30 in the morning on Tuesday. And then he'll be at the legislature for part of it. Actually, his two oldest are going to be in our camp, so that's going to be a lot of fun to have them as part of the camp. So he'll be at the legislature. The plan is from 11 until 12, and then give him a chance to get some lunch and a bit of a rest and a break before he gets into the hitting part, because he will be part of Team Harbor Cats in the 3-on-3 version style of Major League Baseball X Home Run Derby style that we're using, which is the first time ever in Canada that this format and this MLB version and MLB property has been used in Canada. First time in Canada, first time with the Summer Collegiate League. So we're really excited about that. And there will be Team North for the North Division, Team South for the South Division, and then Team Harbor Cats going at it for a chance to win some great prizes, amazing bats from Rawlings that we'll have there. And then after that is a hot stove event at the Strathcona in the clubhouse, where we have a panel including Kevin Pillar, including Walt Burrows, including Gorman Heimuller, Todd Haney. It'll be a great group that'll be just taking questions about baseball. We're going to talk about baseball and consider it kind of like the stuff that went on with Hockey Day in Canada when it was here. And Brian Burke and Kevin Bieksa and those guys did it. We're totally stealing that idea from them and putting that on at the Strathcona from 9 o'clock until we'll probably go till 11:30 midnight at that time. It'll just be a baseball fest for people who want to meet some great people. Kevin, again, will be there for that as well. And then Wednesday, the luncheon is going on from 11:30 till 1 at the Strathcona, and then the game at night at 7 p.m. and a whole lot of things. We got skydivers. We got a bunch of fun stuff that's going to be going on. It's going to be like a carnival. Yeah, I think people who go to our games know that we like to have some fun and do some extra stuff. It's going to be pretty good. And then the funnest part for me really is that we were able to coordinate a overall kids camp sponsored by Helen Edwards and Baseball BC. And that's going to be a lot of fun. Overall kids camp is happening in 7 different locations from 9 till noon on Wednesday. So kids are going to be learning all about the game of baseball through using this to promote the game. And we also have an umpire clinic that's going to happen Wednesday afternoon at Royal Athletic Park. So that's going to be a lot of fun to have involved. And so many great sponsors stepped up, from Alliance Engineering Works to the Chamber of Commerce, Wilson's Group, so many, and Show Pass obviously as well, in being the title sponsor of this.
Okay, before we get to the ticket thing, I have an all-star question for you, because I know you're a baseball guru way back. And I want you to think about the Major League Baseball All-Star Game, okay? Mm-hmm. What is the moment that stands out to you after all the All-Star games that you watched, because the professional All-Star Game is upon us as well?
Oh, it's a great question. I give you two. Number one is the Bo Jackson home run that he hit at Angel Stadium. That one, to me, against Rick Russell. That was he hit it I think that ball's still flying, as a matter of fact. Hit about 500 feet. But for me, the home run derbies have been a lot of fun. Ken Griffey Jr. winning it. When Cal Ripken Jr. won it was amazing. I was actually in Seattle when Cal Ripken Jr. played his last one, Tony Gwynn, in the same game in 2001, and when Alex Rodriguez made him go play shortstop for one more appearance in the major leagues, he'd moved to third base. So many great memories. So All-Star games. A great question, Stephen. And that's what we're doing here, is creating those here in Victoria. This is the first time we've had it since 2013. We have it this year and next year. We worked very hard with our league to get this here to Victoria, and I can tell you that I think the people around our league are expecting to see a spectacle like we've probably never seen in the West Coast League before, and we believe it's going to deliver. We have a tremendous committee: Brendan McFarland, Dave Cockle, Adrian Summers, Christian Stewart. So many people doing amazing work to get this thing pulled off on a next level. This is the biggest sporting event in Victoria this calendar year. And yes, there are a couple tickets still available. You're going to go to that. HarborCats.com. Go to our website. HarborCats.com/tickets is the place to get tickets for this. There are some great seats. A little tip for the All-Star game: sitting down the right field line, because of the way this will be oriented on the field. Sitting on the right field line in section 6 and 7 will be amazing seats. Also, the Strathcona rooftop party deck will be an unbelievable spot to be for the home run derby with how this is being set up, because we're not going to be hitting from home plate. We're hitting from near third base. And if that's enough to confuse people, that's great. Come and see it, because you'll understand it when you see it. We saw it when we went to Salt Lake City to go and secure this last September, me and Adrian Summers. And it is an amazing show with so much fun to it. There's defense involved. The players actually go out and put their gloves on and try and catch balls before the fence and get extra points for that. So there's some really fun aspects to this that make it different than the traditional home run derby of guys just flailing away at home runs and trying to hit the ball 500 feet.
Thanks for joining us today. Good luck this week. And like he said, tickets are still available.
Steve, thank you very much.
Have a good day.
From CFAX 1070.
Here's what's happening around the island.
Victoria Symphony presents Symphony in the Summer Festival, July 10th through August 9th. Details at victoriasymphony.ca. Catch all the excitement of summer baseball with the Victoria Harbour Cats. More info at harborcats.com. Have an event you want featured on CFAX 1070? Text us at 71010 to be featured.
Get more event info at CFAX1070.com.
If it's happening, it's here.
CFAX 1070.
CFAX Victoria.
An iHeart radio station. If it's happening,
It's here.
CFAX 1070.
It's 8:32 here at CFAX 1070. Steve in for Ryan. Clouds moving in, high near 23 today. Time for CFAX 1070 News. Here's Lisa Best.
Thanks, Steve. Less air turbulence moving forward for Air Canada. They've reached a tentative contract deal with the union representing about 11,000 of their technical operations, airport, cargo, logistics, and supply employees.
Details of the proposed 4-year collective agreement with the International Association of Machinists and Aerospace Workers were not immediately available. The airline says the agreement is subject to a ratification vote, which is expected to be held in the coming days.
If approved, the contract will be retroactive to April 1st and remain in place until 2030. WestJet attendants held a day of action and information pickets at Pearson Airport in Toronto yesterday, the big airport in Canada. The union representing the flight attendants remain in negotiations with the airline, who are hammering out a new contract with pay and unpaid work at the center of the dispute.
We haven't been able to agree on a compensation model that reflects our contributions to the success of this organization. We want the value of our work to be reflected in our wages. We are some of the lowest paid flight attendants in Canada, and yet we are the second largest carrier. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up.
WestJet responded to yesterday's action with a statement saying it respects the right of workers to hold these pickets, and the focus remains on reaching that new contract. The flight attendants have until Wednesday to vote in the strike, whether they will or not. And the earliest possibility strike date would be August 2nd, right in the thick of summer travel. Now, following Action Sunday, Job Action Sunday at Vic General, BC Nurses Union say pickets will be up at Nanaimo Regional today and also Royal Jubilee tomorrow. BC Nurses Union President is expected to speak at 10 today on the picket line in Nanaimo, so we'll have an update on future job action, where and when. Last week, the union welcomed the appointment of special mediators for the dispute, but added it's not enough to stop applying pressure on employers. Essential services at hospitals are not affected by this labor action. Are you borrowing cash just to put food on the table? New research shows millions of North Americans are borrowing money or draining their savings just to eat. According to the nonpartisan think tank Urban Institute, more than 25% of working-age adults relied on credit cards to buy groceries. They were either unable to pay the full balance in full or they missed the minimum payment as a result. Researchers also found about 20% of working-age adults say they dipped into long-term savings that weren't intended for everyday expenses, such as their emergency fund, at least once in the last year just to pay for food. The research highlights the financial strain many households face as the cost of living increases. And that is your news to 8:36. Your CFAX 1070 news poll question today. We're asking you, is your vehicle ever been recalled for a safety issue? 45% say yes. You can vote now at CFAX1070.com. Twitter X, also the iHeartRadio app. I'm Lisa Best. Your news time is 8:37.
Thank you, Lisa. Weather forecast for Greater Victoria for today. Sunny skies, increasing cloudiness around the noon hour, high near 23. Clearing tonight, low down to 13. Clearing again in the morning with a high near 24 tomorrow. Mix of sun and cloud for Wednesday and a high near 21. Right now in downtown Victoria, it's 13 degrees. Checking your sports. Another strong weekend for the Shamrocks. A couple of wins, including Saturday night in Nanaimo when they upended the Timbermen 8-3. The Shamrocks back at it Friday night at home to Coquitlam. CFL, Saskatchewan hammered Hamilton 38-7 last night. Ryan Blaney won the rain-delayed NASCAR race in Atlanta. It ended around 2 o'clock Eastern time. It was even late here. It was 11 o'clock. The Toronto Tempo beat New York 93-91 in the WNBA. Whitecaps take on Cavalry FC in the second leg of their quarterfinal in the Canadian Club Championship. That's tonight. Caps come in leading 4-1 on Aggravate. And in softball, Victoria's Emma Etzinger helped lead Team Canada to a 2026 Canada Cup Championship this weekend in Surrey. The home side beating China by a score of 7-3. For a comfortable home, no matter what the season, and big savings on your heating bill, talk to Coastal Heat Pumps, designed for comfort, the South Island's elite Fujitsu Air Stage dealer. On the highways, Trans-Canada a little bit slow through the usual zone in front of the hospital. It picks up once you get to the bend. I see no other delays. The 9 o'clock sailing on Swartz Bay is full. Next available sailing is at 10 o'clock. It has 25% available deck space. Everything's on time at the airport. Business numbers, the TSX up 83 points at 35,221. The Dow Jones up 90 at 52,546. The NASDAQ down 202 points at 26,079. The Canadian dollar's up 7 basis points at 70.7 cents U.S.
Let's get started. Start your day informed and entertained. Ryan and Lisa, mornings on CFAX 1070.
We have a special guest.
We do. Bailey's walked over from Virgin.
Oh, such a long walk. Thank you so much for having me, guys.
It's a good thing we serve martinis first thing in the morning, eh?
Oh, geez.
Quenching the thirst.
Can I have an espresso martini? I definitely need a little extra caffeine.
We aim to please.
Oh,
so
you sure
you're
do.
tired for a very good reason.
Yeah, it was Pride yesterday, and myself and Johnny, my co-host on Virgin Mornings, we got to be witnesses for the first ever weddings that happened at the Pride Festival.
You told me. Yeah, go ahead.
5. We had 5 couples get married. We started at 11 in the morning, and we wrapped up around 5 o'clock in the afternoon. It was a big day.
You know, I got to say, among the things I'd want on my bucket list, that would be one of them. And when you told me this Friday, my jaw was on the floor because usually we might get to go to 1 or 2 weddings a summer at best. You got 5 in a day.
And this is the way to do it. Like, if you've ever gone to a wedding, sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, like, why is this taking so long? So the fact that it was like every wedding was about 30 minutes each was perfect. Yeah. So everything was planned out for them. I want to give a shout out to Linda from Fets by Linda. She is a wedding planner here in the city. She planned out all of the decor. She got all the vendors together. The couples got to show up and everything was ready for them. The officiant. We had some local drag queens dress up as flower girls and walk down the aisle for them and do a reading.
So cool.
The couples had their flowers. The photographer was settled. A cake was ready to go. They just had to show up and get ready to profess their love. It was really sweet.
And there's all that ambiance of the festival around them.
Very
so you've got
celebratory
thousands
atmosphere
of people at your event.
Yeah.
Tell us about the couples who got married.
We had 5 different couples. We had some couples that had been together for over 15 years and met through activism. Other couples that met through work and had been engaged for a couple of years and kind of didn't have any plans for a wedding. But when they saw that this was happening, they were like, oh, this seems like a great way to get married. We had some high school sweethearts that are like still in their early 20s. And I was like, oh my God, a bunch of babies getting married. But hey, if you know, you know. And it was just amazing to see like the mix of chosen family and like parents and grandparents. One of the couples had their dogs walk down the aisle with them. So it was just a really beautiful day of love, and it was such an honor to be included.
Did you get touched by some of the vows that they came up with?
Oh, it was so incredibly moving. Like, who doesn't love love? And just seeing people that just share about like the hardships that they've gone through and just the dedication they have to each other. It was hard to not cry. Like, it was really awesome. The officiant Cecilia gave all of us hankies to have and definitely needed them. And I was glad I had waterproof mascara.
Did Johnny cry too?
Yeah. Johnny's a little bit more like cards to the chest, like a stoic kind of guy. Although he did have sunglasses on, so he could have been crying, and I just might not have noticed through my own tears.
Gotta ask you, what was the feeling afterwards for you? Was it really cathartic?
It was just so like jubilant. Like, it was just like love. And especially like now more than ever, we need pride. And you hear about what's going on like in other parts of the United States. And then even like there are some legislations and people trying to do some pretty crappy stuff here against the LGBTQIA plus community. So it just made me feel so good that there is still like wonderful people that support love and rights for everybody. And we can come together as a community and we can celebrate and be out and loud and proud.
How many people sort of surrounded and watched all this?
It depended, but yeah, at one point I think we had a crowd of at least like 20 plus people just like standing there watching everyone get married. And then it was so sweet when people would say their I do's and like do their final declaration of like, you're now married, and everyone's like, yeah, we're so happy for you. It was just such a sweet atmosphere. And we already had people coming up being like, is this going to happen next year? Oh, can I get married at Pride, or can I do a vow renewal for next year? So we're already talking about what we could do for 2027.
Well, don't they need a sponsor? Aren't they looking for a sponsor for it?
Sponsors.
Oh, okay.
The more money, the better. Have you, like, weddings are so expensive.
That's true.
Like, as soon as you put wedding on it, they're like, oh, that's going to cost you an extra couple $1,000.
That's true.
So, yeah, Linda did all of this, like, out of the kindness of her heart. She paid for pretty much everything. Like, we did have some wonderful vendors that, like, donated the flowers and people that donated their time. But obviously, it would be great to have some other sponsorships on top of that. So, if you are a business, if you're like, yeah, I don't have the bandwidth or the money to be in the parade, or if you don't think you're a good fit for, say, the vendor village at the festival, it would still be fantastic to have you involved at something like the I Do booth, showing your allyship. And it just does a little bit more than just changing a rainbow emoji onto your Instagram account for a month.
It's great community involvement.
Yes.
100%.
Speaking of community involvement, before we let her go, I wanted to publicly congratulate Bailey and Johnny on an outstanding ratings book.
Steve.
Because what they've done is they've put the effort in to do the community events, to be out there in the community, to do the TikToks and the extra work that it requires to be a success. Yeah. And as somebody who gets to see it on an ongoing basis, that there's that extra level of effort and it gets rewarded, that does my heart good. So congratulations. We're very proud of both of you because you put the time in.
Where's my handkerchief from yesterday, Steve?
You're making her cry all over.
It made me emotional. That's so.
She's easily triggered right now.
I can understand
that. Big old raw nerve, but yeah.
The Taylor Swift wedding last week, this week.
Love is so wonderful. Yay, love. We need some good news right now, right?
Agreed.
Lisa, you have the headlines. Is there any good news in there?
I'm trying. I'm going to try. I might fail a little. We'll start with weather. That's innocuous enough. Southern California bracing for a potential impact of a super El Nino event. The most recent prediction from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration puts the chances of a strong or very strong El Nino at 97%. That's pretty much it for sure. There's been 3 or 4 very strong El Nino events on global record. In most of them, downtown LA got significantly more rainfall damage than average. And of course, all of this trickles north. BC will see some of that happening too. The last strong El Nino, 23-24, and we had extreme rainfall that year too in some parts of the West Coast too. Still in the water, U.S. President says the U.S. is reinstating a blockade on Iran in the Strait of Hormuz, and they're going to start charging for ships for safe passage. He says the announcement on post on social media, of course, that's how he makes his announcement nowadays, after another exchange of fire between the U.S. and Iran over that critical waterway. Meta has disabled a new AI image generator days after it debuted, this over privacy concerns. At issue is the fact that Muse Image can use photos from Instagram accounts that are set to public. A Muse user only has to tag a public feed, and AI would use that to create its own image, which would stay online permanently. Now the company says that feature did miss the mark. And actor Sam Neill being remembered by friends and colleagues after his sudden death today. Neill's family confirmed overnight that he died at the age of 78 in Sydney, Australia. The New Zealand-born actor was widely known for playing Dr. Alan Grant on the Jurassic Park franchise, but he also starred in the movie The Piano way back. That's your news to 8:48.
Developing political story, a big doozy.
Vashi Capellos.
What started as a dull day is anything but.
The top newsmakers.
Your go-to political debrief. Daily. What is really going on?
The breaking news.
Just moments ago. And the entertaining analysis and debate to follow.
I don't think you can sugarcoat it. It's an issue.
It's not true, guys. Yeah. Vashi Capellos. There is a greater plan here.
Vashi Capellos. Weekdays 9 a.m. to 11.
Bigger picture politically, which is
on CFAX 1070.
8:50 here at CFAX 1070. Checking the traffic situation. Things pretty smooth. There's that slow area, basically almost right in front of the hospital on the Trans-Canada Victoria bound, and then it gets better at the curve, and just volume downtown as per usual. I don't see any other real big issues out there. At the ferry terminal, if you're hoping to get on the 9 o'clock, that's ship has sailed. It's full. The next available sailings at 10 o'clock at 23% available deck space. The 11's a little busy. It's only at 14% available right now.
It's all here. News, weather, traffic, and community events. Ryan and Lisa, mornings on CFAX 1070.
It's 8:51 here at CFAX 1070. Steve and Lisa today. I saw a story that brought back some memories of one of the first time I co-hosted for Ryan.
Yes.
And that was during the Jasper fire.
Yeah, that was a hard time for you.
Yeah.
Hard time for people living in Jasper.
For those of you who don't know, actually, I watched on the air as they showed the video of the apartment that I had lived in going up in flames.
Surreal and terrifying.
Yes. So I'm a little sensitive about this, but the Wildfire Service put out a statement on the weekend, and it just blows my mind they have to do this, because fighting fires is hard enough by itself. They don't need any complicating factors on top of that, right? They just need to be able to go in there and do their thing, and we kind of depend on the public to let them do their thing. So this is the Boston Bar wildfire. And so they had the highway closed, right?
Yes.
And they opened it on Saturday. So what do you think people started doing?
Posting.
Speeding through the fire zone.
Oh.
To the point they wanted to film the firefighting efforts.
Yeah, they wanted to post. It's an Instagrammable world. And we cause ourselves and others a lot of harm by trying to get that shot in that video.
Speaking of the video, a drone was seen flying near the southwest flank of the wildfire while emergency crews were fighting the blaze. So if you know anything, because there's a drone there, they have to suspend operations because the drone could affect the helicopters and the planes fighting the fire. So once they get the drone taken care of, they can start doing it again. But in the meantime, you've lost time, space, and trees.
And homes, possibly.
Yes. It's just like...
Perspective.
Yeah. It's just... I get that it's certainly Instagrammable. I understand that. But it's just... I want you to give the firefighters the space they need to do their job, because it's a tough job. And BC is blessed that it has a wildfire service that is not just good, it is world-renowned good. And the going to the full year, most wildfire services don't have that full year where you have the firefighters on staff the full year.
No, there is I would say during the winter season, even though the wildfire season goes year round now, here in BC anyway, there is a bit of a dearth in activity when the winter hits and snow possibly falls in some areas, or more rain. But yeah, it's... We have to watch out for our safety first before we try to get that post up.
Yeah. We've been very fortunate on the island. I feel very good about the way things are done.
Well, we've had Mother Nature on our side, too.
The rain has been timely, because once it gets to that high fire danger, we seem to get a shower or two, and that just totally cools down. There's something called a buildup index. If you look it up, it's very interesting. It basically puts factors into place and says, because the measure how much fuel there is, how much rain there's been, and kind of ties it all together into an index that tells you how likely you are to have a wildfire.
Exactly.
So that's the stat I go to. So if you look for BUI for Vancouver Island, it will tell you exactly which places are more susceptible. The other thing that will tell you is the sign in front of the View Royal Fire Department.
Yeah. Oh, that one is cool.
That one is cool.
That's large, and you can't miss that one.
And it's right by if you stop at that light.
If you're in gridlock,
Yeah, you certainly get...
Because there's all the white X's on the road saying, don't stop here.
Yes.
Because the fire trucks might pull out. And then there's the fire danger rating, which is very, very prominent on the sign. It's helpful.
It really is helpful.
Yeah.
So, yes.
So star 5555 is our best defense, too. If we can have everybody have eyes on the ground, if you see something that looks wrong in the trees, if you see smoke coming and you're thinking, oh, it's nothing, maybe it's something. And the trick here is if fire crews can get to it fast enough, it doesn't become something larger. So don't feel bad about calling star 555 if you see something, because many times people have called and they've thwarted a bigger drama and a bigger tragedy as a result.
Yes.
Communities have stood standing because people have texted to say, I think I see something, and maybe it's just my imagination, but maybe it's something big.
And we've been very, as you mentioned, there has been fires just across the way in Washington State.
We can see those too, yeah.
Yeah, there's been a fair amount of them, especially there's one in Olympic National Park in particular that we had to keep our eye on here as well because it's been happening, and some of those places are really hard to get to, really hard. Mm-hmm. Well, I've enjoyed the show today. I hope the listeners have enjoyed it. Yeah. We will keep you posted. Once again, Kevin Pillar, the former Blue Jay, will be on the show tomorrow at 7:50. So if you have those questions, text us at 71010. All those comments about the e-scooters and the e-bikes have been recorded, and we're going to try to get some legal advice around that and maybe even get some CIBC advice on how it fits. Just give you a better picture based on your questions because we certainly appreciate it. Have a great day.
CFAX Victoria,
an iHeart radio station. If it's happening,
it's here.
CFAX 1070.
Good morning. I'm Lisa Best with your CFAX 1070 news to 9 o'clock. One of Prime Minister Mark Carney's key staffers says he's stepping away from his role and now considering a run for Parliament.
Braden Cayley, Carney's Deputy Chief of Staff, thanked the Prime Minister in a letter posted to social media for what he called the honour of a lifetime. Cayley didn't specify a timeline or a particular riding where he would seek a nomination in his letter, only that he plans to run in his home province of British Columbia. The riding of North Vancouver-Capilano will be contested in a forthcoming by-election. That seat had been held by former Cabinet Minister Jonathan Wilkinson, who resigned this spring to become Canada's ambassador to the European Union. Tom Mitchell, the Canadian Press.
Locally, a potential partnership is set to boost two local businesses. CFAX 1070's Koch Cadden brings you the story.
A recent fire at a popular catering company may have unintended benefits for seniors in the Greater Victoria area. Beacon Community Services wants to enter a mutually beneficial agreement with Truffles Catering, which would allow Truffles to use Beacon's commercial kitchen to serve the residents of the assisted and independent living residents of the centre. Truffles' business was disrupted by an extensive fire that broke out at their kitchen in Saanich last month. Meanwhile, Beacon has long looked for a contracted party to operate the kitchen and potentially offset revenue loss for the centre. Up until now, this has proven to be a financial challenge amid issues with attracting and retaining food service staff. The partnership would depend on a temporary relaxation of a permit issued by Sydney Town. Koch Cadden, CFAX 1070 News.
Dramatic footage out of a wildlife refuge in the U.S. A man seriously injured. He was headbutted by a charging bison. This at Yellowstone National Park. NBC's Camille Brunel says video shot by a photographer on site shows the man and his grandson standing some distance away from the animal when the animal lost it.
The two visitors stopped to take photos of the animal lying in the grass before it began rolling and then charging at a passing car. The park guests spotted running away from the animal, who proceeded to chase them through the trees. The bison catching up, sending the man flying several feet into the air.
The animal, weighing about 1.5 tons, also charged a group of children before the photographer joined other campers in trying to distract it and chase it off. The victim's family says the 65-year-old man who was attacked and flown into the air underwent surgery, and he remains in hospital today. Prime Minister Mark Carney says he's happy with the new opening of the Gordie Howe Bridge has been set. The Feds announced Friday the bridge linking Windsor and Detroit will open on July 27th, following weeks of delays and public criticism from the U.S. president.
I'm happy the bridge is going to be open. Yeah, we need it. We are sharing after Canada is paid back. So we get the revenues, then the servicing of the costs of the bridge and paying the debt of the bridge, and then what's left over, there's a split of that for 15 years. The initial years of this bridge, there is, traffic volumes are going to build up, so there's not going to be a lot of net to split.
The Bank of Canada is widely expected to keep its key benchmark interest rate unchanged this week, even after inflation topped 3% this spring. Governor Tip Macklem had said that the central bank will look through the initial inflation shock from the high gas prices, but will act if pressure increases spreading beyond the pumps. And speaking of money, if you're looking for some, apparently it's hiding in your closet and drawers.
It might not look like money. It could be retro technology, a vintage handbag, a broken bracelet, or an old guitar. But if it's in good condition, someone will likely buy it. And if it's currently trending, that price could be higher. The president of the Canadian Pawn Association says items like retro gaming consoles are hot right now because of the nostalgia factor for the 90s and 2000s. Other experts say the resale market for luxury clothing is less about timing it by the current season and more about the value of the brand and fashion cycle. They say people could try to sell items themselves or work with a consignment vendor. Brenda Molina Navidad, The Canadian Press.
On your markets for the start of the trading week, the TSX off 95 points at 35,210. The Dow off 118 at 52,518. Our Canadian dollar holding at 70.70 cents U.S. CFAX weather forecast. We've got sunshine today, some clouds around noon. A high 23, though. Humidex 25. Clearing tonight. Winds to 50 along the Juan de Fuca Strait, a low 13. Clearing tomorrow morning, a high 24 into the sunshine. Feeling a bit hotter with the humidity, and a mix of sun and cloud for Wednesday, a high 21.
Hey, it's Adam Sterling. I'm live at 11 a.m., diving into the issues that matter most here in the Capital Region. Right after Vashi Capello's Don't Miss It on CFAX 1070 and the all-new iHeart Radio app.
This is the Vashi Capello's Show on the iHeartRadio Talk Network.
And happy Monday. Welcome to the show. I am Graham Richardson in for Vashi for today. She will be back tomorrow. I hope you had a good weekend. I hope you're having a good Monday so far. Midsummer, really. Feels like summer finally out there. We're in for a spate of weather across the country, really, that feels like summer. Seeing some of the pictures at a Stampede, it looks absolutely picture perfect. Picture perfect for pancake flipping and also politicking. The number of politicians at Stampede has gone up exponentially, particularly this year, and not just federally, provincially, municipally. It seems everybody is there, except us. We're here, but that's okay. We've got three big things to talk about off the top of the show today, and we're going to start with the Daily Rundown.
The Rundown.
All right, I want to start with politics and this very 2026 thing that's called the Gordie Howe Bridge. Let me just, I think we've all heard a lot about it, but we built it, partnership with Americans, we paid for it. The rival bridge, the Ambassador Bridge, run by a family that is very supportive of Donald Trump, had fought Canada all along the way in Michigan court, dozens and dozens of cases trying to stop the construction of Gordie Howe. They failed every single time. Apparently Canada is 24-0 or something in court there. The bridge is finally ready, but no, it's delayed because Donald Trump doesn't like the deal. Donald Trump gets a new deal, some kind of a new deal. He brags on social media that he squeezed more money out of Canada. Here's Mark Carney at the Stampede with CTV News' Tara Nelson talking about that deal just yesterday.
The word net does a lot of work in this. We are sharing after Canada is paid back. So we get the revenues, then the servicing of the costs of the bridge, and paying the debt of the bridge, and then what's left over, there's a split of that for 15 years. And the U.S. money is invested back in economic development in the region, the U.S. side of the region, obviously, which is going to help drive more traffic. The initial years of this bridge, there is, traffic volumes are going to build up, so there's not going to be a lot of net to split. So look, it's a good deal for Canada.
A good deal for Canada, not a lot of net to split, but remember, this Prime Minister announced that the bridge was going to open in a matter of days, had to take that back, had to cancel municipal officials had to cancel a ribbon cutting because the Americans wanted a better deal. The Americans say they got a better deal, and there are still questions about this deal in terms of where that money goes. Yes, economic development. How much is it? The other thing I want to know is how much say they're going to have. Americans are going to say how much say they're going to have over tolls on the bridge. More about that later in the show. Here are the opposition Conservatives. Shivaloy Majumdar spoke with CTV News yesterday. He's calling for more transparency around the terms of the new agreement.
I'm not saying compromise is a bad thing. Let me be very clear. I understand this is a very difficult negotiation with an unpredictable administration. I think, though, that had we been building Canadian strength and had we brought focus to CUSMA negotiations over the last 15 months, had we been actively focusing on forced labor supply chain issues that Americans are raising with Canada today with the kind of strength we should, had we been doing our job, essentially, had our country been standing up and doing our job, I have to believe that this may not have even been up for negotiation.
Seems like a long, when they sunk shovels finally, like this is a multi-decade project. This took decades to come to fruition. Would they have ever thought when they sunk shovels all those decades ago that this would be held up at the highest levels for whatever reason? Well, we know the reason, for more money on the American side. And